Black African power. What's good? What's happening? Well organized lie defeats a disorganized truth every time. Woo-hoo-wee. Man, y'all already know what it is, man. It's God killing the house. And I come to do what I got to do, and I'm going to do what I got to do. I'm standing tall. I'm standing strong. Hey, y'all know what it is, man. Bobby banging this bitch. Man, y'all see the flyer, man. The link is in the bottom of the video, man, depending on where you watching this joint at, man. So let's go ahead and get this thing right. Y'all see it. Dr. Reggie Jabari. It's going down tomorrow, man. Man, get your tickets, man. It's important, man. Support the channels, man. We appreciate the people peeping in. We appreciate the haters. We appreciate everybody. I see the families coming in, man. Fly Logic, what it do, brother? What it do, man? Make sure y'all support his channel, man. All day long. We see you out sharing here when we show you how wild you is and your skills of understanding what science is and what is not. Yo, you get a good class today, bro. This ain't no debate. I'm teaching. I'm gonna show you where you went wrong at, bro. And maybe you'll grow from it. Make sure y'all support everybody on here, man. Whether they good speakers, bad speakers, in between speakers, and wild out. And just wild out, man. I don't do no slandering, yo. I don't do no pandering. I'm gonna say it again. I don't do no slandering, but I sure as hell don't do no pandering. I understand exactly what science is, coming straight from the mouth of experts. We do this for real. We have STEM camps. Pick up the Dr. Oya Mayat, Conscious Ingenuity. We teach the kids. Whether they got pseudo parents or not, we don't care. We give them the foundation of what human beings stand on. They may believe in religion, but they stand on science. They stand on understanding the natural world. Understanding the natural world will give you a better chance at providing food, clothing, and shelter. Believing in the natural world make you feel good. It may even give you an energy bolt. But understanding the world you're in and understanding how it operates, understanding your civic duties, understanding where you are in the world, make us all better human beings. We do not play with this thing we call science. We do not allow pseudos and misconstrued to mess it up. The rules are set. It is what it is. Nope, not doing it. Now you come back later on, not today. Come back later on after I go through the rewind. Nope, not doing it. Not doing it, bro. Nope. This is not a debate. I'm teaching. That's what I'm doing. So we're going to get into this rewind of this debate and we show you where all the errors was made without all the flammery. And then I'll open up the lines. That's what we doing. Easy work. No issue with that. You ain't about to shut nothing down. Get out. I'm not letting you up, Shay. You tripping. Get out of here, yo. I'm teaching, bro. You don't interrupt the class in the middle of teaching. Get yourself together, bro. Your life together, man. Stop being a baby. Stop crying. Got the people coming in the building, man. Let them get up in here, man. Make sure y'all support that Cash App. It's definitely Friday, man. Show some love, man. Show some damn love, man. All right? And let's get it going. Look at him. Turn away. Don't even look at it. Just turn away. Turn away, Shay. Just turn away, bro. Turn away. Sit there arguing, screaming with you. Knock it off. Yeah, y'all know how it go, but make sure y'all get this debate, man. I'm going to drop that link. See if I can drop the link again. I thought I dropped the link, man. It's in the bottom of the video, yo. All right. Y'all just got to play close attention, man. That's all y'all got to do. There's a couple more people coming in, man. We're going to get it started, man. Scientifically literate people, stand the hell up, man. I remember going through the whole vaccine thing and people still wilding out. They don't even know why they back to work. It's the understanding of nature. It's why we back to work. Not bowing down to nature, not praying to nature or through nature or at nature, but actually understanding it is what gives you I would like to say, an advantage to everybody else. Those that understand nature will always flourish, while those pray and believe in nature will always be standing around. And y'all know what it is, man. Let's get it going.
They knew those niggas couldn't read when they couldn't understand. Would have, as did, alongside impurely. Misrepresent Webster. Misreading paragraphs and sentence structures. Them niggas can't read, they bluffing. Talking super wild, they nothing. You playing, I'm guffing. Acting aggressive, bluffing. Why you playing? I was hustling. I've been retired, cattle rustler. Mills off the muscle. Them niggas can't read, they bluffing. Talking super wild, they nothing. You playing, I'm guffing. Acting aggressive, bluffing. Why you playing? I was hustling. I've been retired, cattle rustler. Mills off the muscle. Them niggas can't read, they bluffing. Reading comprehension causes tension. I'm top notch, you benching. Them niggas can't read, kill conversation. I'm sitting back embracing. Constant winds, y'all bitches glazing. Ignorance profound, at the forefront, conversation. Them niggas can't read, they bluffing. Talking super wild, they nothing. You playing, I'm guffing. Acting aggressive, building nothing. You vote Trump hating. Top debater, knowledge generator, Mount Olympus, we built this. Them niggas can't read, gifted. Now I'm pissed you did this. Shooting you miss, can't hit this. Your fifth grade reader did this. Book reading, kill this. Now read this. What's up with the fakest? Them niggas can't read, they bluffing. Talking super wild, they nothing. You playing, I'm guffing. Acting aggressive, bluffing. Them niggas can't read, but what's the reason they chose greed? Over reason, over intelligence. I've been relevant, believe me. Wines can't read, feel penitentiary, but I stay free, stay slick on that John Wick shit. And I'm loud on the mic with that stem grit. Pseudo killing to the day I die. Them know why, most get high, but I stay fly. Never less than the guy, rather stay sober than high. Keep the rocket from pockets, check the document, been rocking it. Filled all requirements, wild environment, still pull blicks, shooting that science shit. Them niggas can't read. They smoke spray weed. They smoking trees. Them knees, it be what it be. Them niggas can't read, it be what it be. They die to go to hell now, free. It be what it be, never matter to me. Always can read, yet niggas can't read. Yet they breathe, cause they can't read. Fill the prisons, just up cut, running around, doing stick ups. I'm too quick for blicks, stem, hit, staying on that science shit. Them niggas can't read. Live in America, land of the free. I keep it on me, I pull blicks. Protection shit, stay on that science hit. Them niggas get what they get. Them niggas can't read, it be what it be. Stay on that science shit. Them niggas get what they get. Them niggas can't read, it be what it be. Stay on that science shit. Them niggas get what they get. Stay on that science shit.
Man, y'all know what it is. Hey, Shay, check this out. Stop writing through the account, bro. I'm going to get you put off the daggone channel. Keep playing with me. Better know what you doing and know who you fucking with, dude. Stop playing. Stop being a kid, yo. Stop commenting, do my thing, yo. I'm going to get you put off, yo. Ain't nothing but a phone call away. Ain't nothing but a phone call away, nigga. Now I'm going to really beat you up. Now, bye. Get off the channel, yo. Before I get you put off the channel. You don't carry no rank, yo. You tripping. What's wrong with you, yo? You messing up. Crying like a baby, nigga. You put the material out there, we gonna deal with it. Now I gotta beat you half to death. It's gonna give you a break. I ain't giving you nothing. Stop commenting, do my daggone profile. What's wrong with you, bro? Give a nigga an inch, you take a whole yard. Like a little kid. What's wrong with you? Why you at it? Buy that debate. Why you at it? Since you playing, what's wrong with you? Lost your daggone mind, yo. Man, you give a kid a toy, yo, they lose their daggone mind. Yeah, let's get this thing right, man. Let's get right to it, bro. Little kids, man. Y'all need to grow up, bro. Get this thing right, yo. Motherfucker can't take critique, can't take nothing. Run their mouth, wild, pseudo, lost their mind, don't understand nothing, always talking crazy. That's the problem with this spot right here, bro. Been around a whole lot of intelligent youth, man, and they don't act like that. They take critique and they shut the hell up. They respect somebody that definitely know more than them on the subject. That's what we supposed to do as human beings. Respect the person that got more information on the subject. It's clear. It's clear. It ain't even a daggone debate. Good job, King J. I don't even know why you playing with these kids, man. Lost their daggone mind, man. Let's get right to this, man. Let's see where this foolery started, man. They flaked out. Wilding out, boy. I'm trying to tell you. Man, I ain't never been like that. Not even a little bit. I get right to it. Yeah, crazy. Can't take criticism. This whole wild squad, though. He got a whole wild team of wild Indians and cowboys. They don't know they daggone head from a hole in the ground, but talk loud. Don't understand nothing. Couldn't talk to a person with a degree in that subject if they paid them to talk to them. I'm saying if an expert paid them to have a coherent conversation, they couldn't do it. But they play with people and they fake y'all out. Craziness, man. Marginalized communities, talking to them and don't know what the hell they talking about is the wildest thing for me. And y'all let them do it because y'all listen to that trash. And y'all think it's something. And y'all follow their lead on some nonsense. Boy, it take me back to the days of young Pharaoh. Never knew what the hell he was talking about. Made that nigga a star of misinformation. And here we go again. Come on, man, don't get me started. Boy, I'll make you famous. Tripping. Man. And Hercules, you ain't no better. You just as wild. You old and wild. And none of them can have a coherent conversation. None of them can back up what they're saying. None of them can do nothing. And no, I ain't chilling out. Crazy, bro. Yeah, a bunch of snowflakes all day, every day. Don't know what they talking about. Crazy. Couldn't even have a conversation with Jabari. Let Jabari crack him up and beat him down. Crazy, bro. Boy, what's wrong with these kids, man? Supposed to be grown, but playing. Come on, yo, you playing in the grown man's world, yo. The whole world sit on the foundation of science. I'm bringing that to the community whether they like it or not. Now, I don't want to be mean because it come off wild and old. They play too much, though, yo. Craziest thing ever, yo. And then we got the chatty and the patties. They never get on here and bring something intelligent and coherent so we can have an intelligent conversation. If they do hit the link, they on some nonsense. Yeah, y'all playing with this, yo. Go home and tell y'all kids that stuff y'all be saying. And let them beat you half to death because you know they in school, right? Come on, man. A daggone dictionary. Can't read a dictionary. Don't understand a dictionary. And won't get with me. Learn how to read a dictionary. Do that. All gonna be over a dictionary.
Merriam-Webster science. Okay. Just simple.
Come
on, real simple. This is real simple, bro. No, you ain't gotta ask it nothing. You just go to Merriam-Webster definition of science. Just go to the Merriam-Webster site.
You don't know the ancient science.
Hey, bro, stop talking while I'm stalking. That's disrespectful. Listen, you didn't do that while King J talk. Stop. Every time somebody finna prove you wrong, you do that filibuster and BS.
I'm trying to stop you from looking like a nut.
Shut your mouth for 2 seconds, bro. Be quiet. So I'm gonna ask the brother to just go to Merriam-Webster, the site. Right, and just go to science. It's gonna give you an A point, a B point, a C point. I believe it.
Yeah, 7 aside 2. I'm ashamed of you that you can't read a dictionary. I'm ashamed that a person as old as me won't tell that little dude, that little nigga, that he ain't understanding the dictionary he reading. Somebody gotta tell him. It's a dictionary, ladies and gentlemen, and the first definition in the dictionary is the daggone definition. And from that point on, it's starting to broaden out. So by the time you get down to the portions that the crazy guy is talking about, it's not talking about what we're talking about. It's using it in the broad sense of knowledge. Man, and the fact that y'all don't understand it, man, we in trouble, man. And you know what, yo? I used to think that all the youth was behind, but in reality, they not. Big up to Dr. Oyama and Conscious Ingenuity. Big up to the college students at Southern University, Morgan State University, and all the rest of the black colleges. Big up, because there are the intelligent youth there. Don't go looking for intelligent youth in the damn barbershop. You may find some there. You may. But the place to find the generation that we're going to end up standing on and upholding us, right, is getting their education. And if they're not getting their education in college, they're getting their education in some type of field of study. Carpentry, plumbers, engineers, HVAC. They in school, though. And you may find some that's an apprentice program, but they doing something. They ain't running around running their mouth. Not being able to read dictionaries. It's a dictionary. It's no way we should be in the middle of a fight over a dictionary. A dictionary? Come on, man.
The B as well.
I put Merriam-Webster's provides a few comprehensive layers to its definition of science.
They talk. Stop. Every time somebody finna prove you wrong, you do that filibuster. Come on, man. So I'm gonna ask just go to science. It's gonna give you an A point, a B point, a C point. I believe it's the B as well.
I put Merriam-Webster's provides a few comprehensive layers to its definition of science, separating it by how it is applied. 1, the core definition: knowledge or a system of knowledge covering general truths or the operation of general laws, especially as
the reason I wanted you to actually go to the web.
Or the operation of general laws.
Did you hear that? The core definition. The presentation was always around the core definition. Do we know what the word core means? The foundation, the core, the center of. This man did a whole debate dealing with the broader sense. African science. The ignorance that flows through the minds of some of these people is just downright wild. For no reason. We do not have to fight over a dictionary definition, man. Don't even talk to me if you don't know how to use a dictionary. I learned that in the 2nd grade. How do you do it? Start off with the letter. And then the next letter, and you get you the word. And the first definition is the core definition. He's reading it right now. And watch him interrupt him. Watch.
of science, separating it by a provides a few
point, a C point, I believe it, and just go to Merriam-Webster for 2 seconds, bro. Be quiet. So I'm gonna ask the brother to just go to Merriam-Webster, the site, right, and just go to science. It's gonna give you an A point, a B point, a C point. I believe it's a D as well.
I put Merriam-Webster's provides a few comprehensive layers to its definition of science, separating it by how it is applied. 1, the core definition, knowledge or a system of knowledge covering general truths or the operation of general laws, especially as
the reason I wanted you to actually go to the website itself, bro. If you would have went to Webster, you would have actually just went to Webster itself. It's so gonna start.
Nah, man, the man just read. He trying to show you how to use a damn dictionary. This is crazy, bro. Watch. He's trying to read it and tell you what it's saying. He's explaining it. Watch this.
Definition of science. Just go to the Merriam-Webster site.
You don't know the ancient science.
Hey, bro, stop talking while I'm stalking. That's disrespectful. Listen, you didn't do that white King J talk. Stop. Every time somebody finna prove you wrong, you do that filibuster and BS.
I'm trying to stop you from looking like a nut.
Shut your mouth for 2 seconds, bro. Be quiet.
I said, I'm trying to stop you from acting like a nut. I'm trying to stop you from embarrassing yourself to a place where you can't come back from, but you made me do it because your mouth is loud. Now, I know I'm loud. For sure. But I ain't gonna never sit up here and not know how to read a damn dictionary. I ain't gonna never misconstrue the definition of the word science. I ain't gonna never get that mixed up. I'm never getting ancient science mixed up with science, and I'm never being confused because a person used the word science in ancient times and think they talk about science. I'm never getting that confused because I understand the English language, and God damn it, I can read.
Come on, man. So I'm gonna ask the brother to just go to Merriam-Webster, the site, right, and just go to science. It's gonna give you an A point, a B point, a C point. I believe it's a D as well.
I put Merriam-Webster's provides a few comprehensive layers to its definition of science, separating it by how it is applied. Layers to its definition of science. Webster's provides a few comprehensive layers to its definition.
It gives you different layers of comprehension depending on how you're using it. Anybody with some sense knows that when I start off with the history of science, that I'm giving you the history, how we go from one point to this point. How did we get to science? It took over 60,000 years to get to it. Early people, hunter-gatherers, did not have science. So when that word is applied back then, ancient science, they're simply talking about knowledge. They're talking about the way people gather their information. That's it. What in the hell is going on with the people that are talking to our people at this point? You have to have a basic understanding of the subject you're talking about. A basic understanding. You cannot go to a dictionary talking to a bunch of kids and mess it up. They're going to laugh at you. No way we're supposed to be fighting over how to read a dictionary.
Definition of science, separating it by how it is applied. 1, the core definition, knowledge or a system of knowledge covering general truths or the operation of general laws, especially as
the reason I wanted you to actually go to the website itself, bro. If you would have went to Webster, you would have actually just went to Webster itself. It's gonna start giving you examples, and it's gonna blatantly say on Webster, cooking and science. Blatant.
Yep, it will.
Yeah. Blatant.
And then you got a pseudo over there in the left-hand corner. He's a nut. Talking about, yeah. He ain't got no damn sense. He think the earth is flat. He think the earth ain't moving. Me and I don't even know his name. Me, myself, I don't know what the hell his name is. He amening it. Apostle sitting there lost because he too damn old. Asar 732, whatever the hell, he amening the dumb shit. Everybody on that panel. Khufu the only one who got enough sense to put it in his tool and read it. What are we doing, man? How the hell can we talk about, do you know how much we talk about complex subjects in our Discord, in the pseudo killers, community skeptics, and we hash it out, man, but we never struggling over comprehending an idea, and we never struggling over a word like this. This is why people take advantage of you, because you don't understand. And then you get mad when somebody call you ignorant. The only time I call a person ignorant is when they loud on the mic and talking crazy and reckless and misconstrue the ideas. At that point, I'm thinking, man, you just ignorant because you wouldn't even be talking like this if you understood what you were saying.
No, it's blatant. Man, you know these dudes is clowns and revisionists.
Oh, you calling that?
Yes.
See, I'm a clown, revisionist, and then when it's my turn, everybody start crying, but I'm a clown. I ain't never been a clown. A clown? You can't read and comprehend a dictionary.
Yes.
Now I gotta beat you down.
They're clowning. Yeah. You laughing?
You call me a clown though, y'all?
Yeah, you clowning? Yeah.
No, you call me a clown. I'm clowning because I'm trying to teach the brother about something I shouldn't have to teach the brother. Now we gotta question everything this man say out of his mouth. And I know it's embarrassing, but he did that. Next time he on the mic, tell him to explain a dictionary and how it works. He won't do it. He won't say, you know what? I got that wrong. See, that's all he would have to say. And what that would show is he at least learned something. But you know what? If he say that he misconstrued it, then he would have to admit that that whole damn debate he did was done under the auspices of getting the whole daggone definition of science wrong, because nobody would sit here and promote African science and think that it was actually science. And if you're confused from what I just said, sit down, take your time, and recognize in the context of how the word is used when we say African science, you're simply talking about knowledge, or the way they did their knowledge, the way they put their information together. And we know they put their information together with their spiritual social systems intertwined. That's not an issue and that's not a problem, but it is what it is. Science today does not have that religion hooked up in it. It has tools. It has methodology. It's a way of getting knowledge. Like Cedric say, epistemic regime, the way they put together their information, a body of knowledge, the way they do it. And they didn't do it with spirituality. That is the difference. It's steps to understanding nature. You don't dive out the womb understanding nature. Nature in the raw, ladies and gentlemen, in its rawest form, human beings, naked, vulnerable, living in trees, trying to figure out their way with their five senses. Clown. This me.
Oh, you took that personal. Oh, you took that personal.
Yeah, yo, because I'm always taking that personal when you can't read a dictionary. When I know you slipping hard, I'm going to take it super personal. Absolutely, positively. Why wouldn't I? But of course I would. I'm trying to tell you, man, when I ran up against it, I knew I had ran up against it, and I shut the hell up. You got to know when you're dealing with a person that understand more about the subject than you. But I never knew it would all go down to a dictionary. And I kind of knew it because we had people that couldn't read words, should have, would have, as is. They couldn't comprehend it. And we fought like cats and dogs over that.
Then maybe you should have stayed out your lane. Because once brothers get to because once brothers get to saying, I don't know if it's a lack of intelligence and getting all jazzy like that.
I didn't say that.
Okay, so it's not to you then, dude. I didn't direct nothing directly.
But I did laugh. I was trying to save you.
Okay. Oh, I don't need your saving,
You got
brother.
about 400 people in the chat. You about to mess up. Weird. And they're gonna realize you can't read a dictionary, yo. Don't do that to yourself, bro.
Nah.
Man, why you gotta do that,
Just don't do it.
Why you gotta do that,
Look at why I gotta do that, Listen to this old man right here. Why I gotta do what? Why do I have to have a conversation about dictionaries and understanding words in dictionaries, man? Do you know if you misconstrued a definition in the dictionary, it could destroy the whole conversation? It could destroy the way you see the whole situation, man. You can't just go to a dictionary and pick any word you want. Now, if the subject was cooking, we would absolutely agree that cooking, right, is science, and we could explain why in the technical sense. We could strictly say it follows the laws of physics and chemistry, which is part of science. So watch this. So just because you're cooking doesn't mean you're producing science. It's simply trying to say that there's a method to it when you're cooking, ladies and gentlemen. Just so happens that the laws of cooking incorporate physics, biology, and daggone chemistry, man. That doesn't mean that the cook himself understands physics, biology, and chemistry. Can we please understand this? So you can be at 150,000 BCE and cooking your meat. And the laws of physics are there. The laws of physics predate living organisms. The laws of biology are incorporated as soon as biological life forms come. Did y'all know that life itself was chemical? Yes, you're made up of the chemical element chart. Life is chemical. We're not just saying any damn thing out of our mouth to be popular. We're telling you what it is. This is not a debate. It's a conversation. It's teaching. So when you come up against it and you recognize that what you have came up against knows more than you know, you just chill out, yo. I had to chill out. You humble yourself and you just listen. And you take your notes and you look it up. And if you don't know, you ask pertinent questions. You don't do this.
Down.
I didn't do nothing.
Down. And it's funny.
No, I'm not doing.
Now I'm punching down. How the hell am I punching down? It's a dictionary. I'm not punching down. I have to be able to say, bro, you're misconstruing what the dictionary entry is saying. That is not punching down, especially after you done called me a clown. Especially after you done was loud on the mic. I ain't even getting no help. Only one helping me out is Jay. Then Kufu, I think he switched up.
Or nothing. I'm saying it's a dictionary.
Okay, why you gotta do that, man?
You know, it's like basic geography.
Watch this.
Everybody might not know.
All of a sudden, don't nobody know how to get to Webster.
I got it.
Don't nobody know how to get to Webster.
I got it right now. Webster Dictionary. I put science in there.
Watch how he turned cooking to science. Man, the argument wasn't whether science incorporates the laws of physics and chemistry, man. Cooking unto itself is not actually science, though, but it incorporates the laws of physics. and chemistry and heat. Cooking is actually technology. And there we go again. Y'all won't even understand that. Man, it's a lot, bro. It's a lot. I bring y'all high-level, college-level information, yo. And this is just a lot, man, if you don't understand the dictionary, man. It's just a lot, bro.
Popped up science now, as in knowledge, a body of facts learned by study or experience.
That's A. What's the B?
Okay. Let me see.
What?
Yeah, just keep reading. That's what we're here for, to learn.
Yes.
Keep reading.
Oh, man, y'all ain't nowhere in the world, yo.
I know, right? Ain't nowhere in the world. We're going to keep reading.
He can't be on Webster if it ain't
B. Okay, A. I'll start at A. Knowledge or a system of knowledge covering general truths or the operation of general laws, especially as obtained and tested through scientific method. Modern science, the laws of science, the program encourages students to pursue a career in science. B. Such knowledge or such a system of knowledge concerned with the physical world and its phenomena, natural science. C. A particular area of science study, biology, physics, chemistry, and other sciences. And then 2, A department of systemized knowledge as an objective of study, the science of linguistics. B, something such as a sport or technique that may be studied or learned like systematic or systemized knowledge. They travel so much that they have packing their clothes down to a science. There is a science to make the best batch of iced tea, Paul Stevens. Now, the whole art of pitching is the science of the swing and miss. Brian Bannister quoted in the Boston Globe. A system or method recoiling practical ends with scientific laws. Cooking is both a science and an art.
Got him, stop. No more reading.
Wow. No, got him, stop. No more reading, stop. What the hell is going on here? Ashe smiling. Right underneath him is the flat earther, and the apostle don't know what the hell is going on. He dizzy. Got him, stop. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the conversation is based off of how the word was used. You cannot go to a debate saying the debate topic is let me look, hold on, let me show you, let me put this all together for you. King J versus Brother I say, is there a such thing called African science? But of course, you can say there's something called African science. Now, do you mean science like science, quote unquote, methodology, scientific method that's practiced in Africa? Well, that just would be science. But if you want to say the science is practiced in Africa by African science, well, why wouldn't it be Ghanaian science? Or why wouldn't it be Nigerian science? Right? Why wouldn't it be that? Why would it just be African science? It wouldn't just be that. Just like there's no such thing as European science. Y'all put that on there. You're white people science. So we can say science is practiced in Africa, and you would have to ask the person that's speaking, what do you mean? They will either say, I'm talking about science that we do today, modern science that we do today, right? That's done in labs with the scientific method, and then there's no issue. But if you talk about traditional herbs and traditional cultural wisdom, then when you say African science, you're not actually talking about the science that I've been talking about for the last 4 months. You're not talking about that. You're talking about TEK. I think it's technical ecological knowledge. My fault, traditional ecological knowledge. So we don't have to flim-flam this thing. All we got to do is go back. Now, if you listen to Hercules don't know what the hell going on. He confused him damn self. Reggie did the same thing on purpose. Start talking about something else. And see, that's another thing this community does. They start talking about other things when they don't understand what the hell you talking about. And why funk, you don't know what the hell you talking about. Because technology is not science. That's why they call it STEM. Science, technology, engineering, and math. And now they say STEAM, science, technology, engineering, art, and math. My brother. Simple things that will railroad the whole conversation.
No, come on, man. Can somebody just stop that person, man?
All right.
Y'all can't be that slow.
Come on, man.
Science and calling practical ends with scientists voted in the Boston Globe.
Watch how they start cheering. Watch this, yo. It's like I'm in some kind of the enchanted forest. And I'm eating dinner at the Mad Hatter where everything is upside down with. Watch this. And watch, so we know what Ashe think he understand. Because he will apply this all through that debate I'm about to play. Watch. Because Africans cooked at 150,000 years ago, they had science, the most ridiculous thing ever, and will argue for hours.
System or method recoiling practical ends with scientific laws. Cooking is both a science and an art.
Got him. Stop. No more reading.
Wow.
No, come on, man.
A science and an art.
Got him. Stop. No more reading.
Wow.
No, God is just how they got him. Stop. No more reading is a flat earther. He's a wild Christian and a flat earther. He thinks the earth is flat and we just floating in the middle of nowhere flat. He thinks you can go to the edge of the earth. There's a gate there and they charge you money to look over into space. Of course he doesn't understand. So once again, nobody was ever saying that cooking did not incorporate the laws of physics, which is in science, or the laws of chemistry, which is in science. Nobody said that. What we said was, it's not the definition that we're talking about. It's in the broader sense because it incorporates laws of physics and chemistry. The cook does not know the laws of physics before physics. The cook does not know the laws of chemistry before chemistry at 250,000 years ago when humans started cooking their damn food. In Africa. So to think that they were scientists because they was cooking is ridiculous, and you can't say that nowhere else but right here. You think you getting it off in a real college somewhere? You're gonna get laughed out of the daggone building. Ha 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 ha. He's silly. And he just so happens to be an African American.
Oh, come on, man. Can somebody just stop that person, man?
All right.
Y'all can't be that slow.
I know, man. I tried not to give you a Can I get my turn now? Can I get my turn now, yo?
Go ahead, Unc. Get your turn, Unc.
Can I get my turn now? Listen, man. Listen, I think all I want to say here is that we just need to just probably slow down a little bit.
Yeah, it take a man to be wrong over and over.
Everybody need to go. You know what, yo? You lucky, because I would definitely put you out because you talking while I'm talking, yo.
I know you blocked me last time.
And I blocked you and I will block you again, you dumbass nigga. What's wrong with you, yo?
Whoa, man, come
What's
on,
wrong
man.
with you, yo? Don't make me kick you off the panel, yo.
Kick him off for what?
Because he running his mouth.
I'm gone, man.
And then the old man talking crazy. Because I'm in the middle of trying to talk after they laughed and joke. I'm a clown. I just wanted to speak. The environment is hard for learning. That's why we stay in so much confusion, man. See, I ain't doing it like that no more. Say what you got to say. I'm shutting up. When I speak, you shut the hell up. That's how the discourse got to go. I'm not going to take an hour. I'm not going to talk you to death. I'm going to make my points very concisely because I'm teaching, not debating y'all, man. Y'all not even worthy of it. Y'all not ready. Because if you don't know what a daggone dictionary is, why are we talking? Why is most people on that panel don't know what a dictionary is? I bet you Easy Band know. I know King J know. Everybody else is suspect. Swishy-washy, switchy-backy, forfeit, and then they want to talk about the Bible half the day. Psh, come on, yo. Nowhere in the world, bro, where I'm going through this show, we can't even get to the subject at hand. We can't even get past how is Merriam-Webster Dictionary a stumbling block in this conversation, man?
Man, I'm gone, man. I don't want no violence, man. I'm gone, man. I'm scared. I'm scared of Ankh, man.
I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to that.
I'm just playing, Unc. I'm trying to lighten the mood, man. Damn.
Oh, because he run this. He is super pseudo.
No, because he agree with me. He is super pseudo.
No, that's not this.
Pseudocidal. You killing yourself with all the dumb ass shit you say.
All right, man. Let me look, man. Yo, what world would it be where a person who's trying to show a group of black men how a dictionary works, how did he become the dumb one? What world would that be? I'm gonna do this again for y'all. This is Merriam-Webster Dictionary. The definition we always was talking about was here. All right? The first definition, everything that fits in the first definition. When you start moving down to the second, third, it starts to get broader and broader and broader till you get down here to the archaic, the state of knowing, just knowledge, y'all. Do you see how that worked? It started from the primary dictionary. Khufu read the shit. The primary definition is here: knowledge or a system of knowledge coloring general truths or the operation of general laws expressly as obtained through testing scientific method. Modern science, laws of science, program encourages students to pursue careers in science. We know what we're talking about. We're not talking about cooking. Such knowledge or such systems of knowledge concerned with physical world, like natural phenomenon, y'all. This is what we always was talking about. How do we understand the natural phenomenon? When does the natural phenomenon, see this? When does the natural phenomenon become the authority? When is a body of knowledge based around the phenomenon being the authority, like an authority, right? Prior to modern science or prior to science, the religion was the authority. The philosophy was the authority. Men, women was the authority. Women was the authority in transmitting ideas about nature. Loosely speaking, ladies and gentlemen, look, a particular area of scientific study, look, biology, physics, chemistry, and other sciences. That's what the hell we was talking about. We never was talking about nothing else. We never. The Department of Systemized Knowledge as an object of study, science of linguistics. Nope, wasn't talking about that. Sometimes such as a sport or technique that may be studied or learned, like systemized knowledge. Watch this. The travel. So let me see. They travel so much, look, that they have packing their clothes down to a science. Was we talking about that? No. Homo sapiens sapiens have traveling or semi-nomadic lifestyle down to a science, man. They're simply saying the knowledge of how to travel and hunt and gather. They got it down to a systematic way. That's it, man. Like they repeat the same thing over and over again because they successful. We wouldn't talk about that though. There is a science to making, look, the best batch of iced tea. Do you think we was talking about that? Hey, man, he got the science of smacking somebody down pat. Do you think I was talking about that? Why would anybody introduce that into the conversation? It means they don't understand. Look, and he do it. The system or method of reconciling particular ends with scientific laws. Cooking is both for science and art. Christian science, archaic, the state of knowledge and know. We're not talking about that. That last definition. So first of all, that third definition, this where he got tripped up at. Oh yeah, they had science. Man, no, they didn't. They did not have science, bro. They did not. But science does incorporate laws of physics and chemistry that they would not have known about, man. So if you're trying to say that hunter-gatherers at 350,000 years had chemistry and had the laws of physics, then you're lying and you're capping. and you don't understand the subject that we are talking about. If you think that archaic or Christian science, watch this, 5, the state of knowing knowledge as distinguished from ignorance or misunderstanding, that particular definition will fit right here. See this? This is the paper on science, right? And it's giving, and you come down to the history part. Early history. Science has no single origin. Rather, scientific thinking emerged gradually over the course of tens of thousands of years. If you can't read and comprehend it, for me, reading is comprehending, not just pronouncing the words. Pronouncing the words is pronouncing the words. But do you understand the definition of a word in a sentence? Do you comprehend the sentence itself? Do you understand the punctuation in the sentence? What is a comma? What is a semicolon? Can you get that? When you put sentences together and produce a paragraph, have you comprehended the words enough to comprehend the sentence enough to comprehend the paragraph? Science has no single origin. Rather, scientific thinking emerged gradually over the course of tens of thousands of years, taking different forms around the world. Few details are known about the very earliest developments. Now, that definition, archaic, will apply here. Okay? Women likely played a central role in prehistoric science, as did religious rituals. So that last definition, which is right here, we can safely apply to it and not get mixed up in thinking that they're talking about science, systematic science, knowledge or system of knowledge covering general rules, general truths, or operation of general laws expressly obtained through testing through the scientific method. Do you think they had the scientific method in prehistoric times? Do you think they had modern science? Do you think they had the laws of science? Do you think they had a program encouraging students to pursue careers in science? How about this? Do you think they had, do you think they had knowledge or such systems of knowledge concerned with the physical world and its phenomenon? They didn't know what the hell a phenomenon was. Do you think they had biology, physics, chemistry? Did you think they knew about that? No, those laws were definitely in play. Evolution was in play. Physics was in play. Chemistry was in play. And you'll see in this debate that he actually shows chemistry as if they knew about it. They didn't. Serendipity, ladies and gentlemen. Look that word up. Serendipity. Look it up. What is serendipity? Accidentally coming up with something and not knowing how you did it. You just came up with it by mistake. So, what we just read on Wikipedia does not apply to the first definition. What we read on Wikipedia applies in a general sense to here. The state of knowledge, the state of knowing. The difference between ignorance and misunderstanding, y'all. We shouldn't have to fight that. I shouldn't be in the middle of a Royal Rumble over this. Let me prove my point here. Let me show you something. Let me see if I can get here. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let's see if I can get that. I'm going to kind of show this to y'all. 1 second. Let me see. See if I can get this here, man. So we ain't sitting here wilding out on each other, man. Let's see. Let me see here. All right. Let me make this small here. I'm going to come right here. And we're going to rewind this wild debate. Let's see if I can get it here. Let's see here. All right, here we go. All right. Start right here. The prehistoric humans practice science, claim examine. Women likely played a central role in prehistoric science, as did religious rituals. What is this actually meaning? Let's see. What the sentence claims. The author is using a broad definition of science, y'all. So I'm trying to tell you. This usage is debated and can cause confusion. See what I'm saying? Broad versus modern definition. Broad, systematic knowledge of nature, meaning you understanding the laws, like they know about the 4 fundamental forces, strong and weak nuclear, right? Strong and weak gravity, electromagnetism. All right, they understand it. Modern, right? Organized investigation involving theory, testing, criticism, and institutions. All right, so let me go back. Broad, systematic knowledge of nature, meaning you understand the plants, you understand how some plants may work, you understand that some plants may ward off insects, but you don't know the how it's doing it. You don't understand the chemistry in it. You don't understand the chemical components in it. You have not reached total synthesis. You know nothing about that. That's in the broad sense. So that definition is talking about in a broader sense. Now, modern, organized investigation involving theory, testing, criticism, and institutions. They didn't have all that back 300,000 years ago, y'all. Prehistoric knowledge, examples, fire, cooking, there's that word again, cooking, stone tools, hunting, plant knowledge. They had that. They watched the other animals. They watched the other primates around them. Did you know elephants self-medicate? Did you know other primates self-medicate? Look it up. Usually classified as practical knowledge or technology. Man, we talked about that. Technical, ecological knowledge. Practical. Took thousands of years to gain it. This is what the daggone the sentence is trying to convey, y'all. Many historians distinguish practical knowledge from science as a historical institution and method. So we're distinguishing that. And we never was talking about science in the broader sense. We was talking about the totality, the history of science. So we got to start off practical to get to science. Y'all get that? Religious rituals. Some archaeologists argue rituals preserve knowledge. That does not necessarily make rituals itself science. Just like it doesn't make cooking itself science. But the principles around cooking, chemistry, and physics and biology is what they're trying to convey. Conclusion. The quotations reflect one author's terminology rather than a universal consensus. The terminology must be understood in its proper context. Merriam-Webster Dictionary Science, Peter Deere, David Wooten, Stephen Shepin, and AAAS, 1990, National Academy of Science, man. We ain't sitting up here fighting over this, man. This is what we're not doing, bro. We should not have to go through this. It should not be an issue. Let's get to the debate. Let's get right to it. Here we go.
Brother, come on in.
You know, we're gonna wait. You know,
Yeah,
I definitely don't want my first victory to be a TKO technical.
Yeah.
You feel me?
I just got off the phone with him. So
okay, for sure.
But he's just coming in right now.
I'll say less.
You know, one of the things I don't like is when people not on time. Like, why we always got to be on what they call that, the nigga time?
Right.
You always start at 4 o'clock. You should be here like 5 minutes to 4 to set up your program, make sure everything is going good.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to be, at least 10-50, you know what I'm saying, a little early to. I'm excited, side. You know, I'm a lot of exposure, a lot of opportunities. So I was prepared. I was nervous to, you know what I'm saying, to be, you know, excited to present. So, you know.
Okay, brother Ashe is in the room. Brother Ashe is in the room. He's here. So let me break down the rules real quick. Cut your camera on, King J.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say I was on camera for my for the laptop. I can camera up real quick.
Okay.
I can camera up.
All right. First of all, let me let y'all know. You got 1 minute opening. You got three 12-minute rounds. And then you have a Q&A. All right, you want to use this one, brother?
That's my laptop. Yeah, I was in the stream yard. I ain't see y'all live. That's why I'm late, because I didn't see it didn't want to show me you was live in stream yard.
Yeah, see, that's what Nepal was saying. She was saying it wasn't live. So now it's live. All right. You got 1 minute opening. You got 3 12-minute rounds. Then you have a Q&A where y'all both be able to ask 3 questions to each other apiece. You got a minute to answer the question, a minute and a half. And then you got 3 minutes in closing. Then we will open up the platform. I will put up polls, and we're going to see how you do. Are there any questions?
So, Sada, the way I set my presentation up is my opening is going to be a part of my 12-minute first round.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so you want your opening to go into your 12 minutes?
Yeah, so it can keep me at the 12.
Oh, right in. Okay. So, I say, any questions?
Nah.
All right. There is absolutely no profanity, no slander, no calling each other's names. The people are here for information. I say, you are the affirmative. That means you are you first to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm going to give you a minute for your opening, brother. A minute.
Let's say what they opening is. All right. You see the title of the show, right? African Sign. So do you think they talking about traditional wisdom? Do you think King J is up here arguing that Africans didn't have traditional wisdom? Ecological, technical ecological system knowledge. Do you think he's saying that? That wouldn't make no sense, would it? Nope. Let's see. We're going to figure out what they think they fighting for right now. And then we're going to see who actually did it right.
And it starts as soon as you start going in, talking. Let's get it in.
All right, simply, man. Let's look at this all why we're here today. Now, we're here today to talk about the ethnogenesis of science. We talking about literally the starting point of where all the science that we look at today, as far as mainstream science, the scientific method, so on, was literally developed. This is the genesis, right? Starting with the hunter-gatherers and people like that. Mainstream science is nothing more than the child of African science. Is there a relationship between mainstream science and what we consider the science of the ancient on the continent? Yes, there's a relationship, but there's an order. So you cannot put the mainstream, the current science of today over the ancient science that was the ethnogenesis and the father of all of the science that we're looking at. So I'm just here to show the people that there's a such thing as African science. We don't have to bow down to the people who try to dismiss the reality of a such thing as an African science. You know what I mean? And I'm also going to show that there's also a such thing as racist Euroscience. So if that exists, and the
yeah, so we already know that actually, right, that science really has no one origin, right? And you can talk about foundations. It's different from origins. Did y'all know that? kind of Jabari struggles with that. Okay. So you can have some foundational things that's in Africa and then go somewhere else that has some foundations, okay, to certain processes, and go somewhere else to have foundations, right? That's different from saying the origin, right? Because it clearly says there is no one origin of science. It takes foundations from different places around the world that will later on culminate when Europeans mistakenly bumped into the two continents that nobody knew about. Cedric said all the time, the guy daggone map changed. So when he's saying ethnogenesis, right? It's just, he's trying to talk about the historical processes by which science emerged as distinct human institutions, man. That's what he's trying to say. All right. But there is no genesis, no origin to nothing in one place. That's why science is so strong. The whole Euroscience thing is out of pocket. What they did do was they had pseudoscience, and pseudoscience is not science. We use this term, and I don't think people understand it. Pseudoscience is not science. It's fake. It misrepresents science. It appears to be scientific, but it's not. Here we go.
You know what I mean? And I'm also going to show that there's also a such thing as racist Euroscience. So if that exists, and the other people, they also have rights to their science, why can't African people have a science if we know for a fact that we are the originators? Everything come from Africa. We just seen Ankh and Sanchez have a debate about this. So the literal scientific method that's being utilized today starts on the continent of Africa. I think that's a minute. Come on, let's go.
All right, Brother King J. Time start when you're ready, brother.
So my opening is going into my. So am I going first, or should I say going first? Because he can just go flow right into his 12.
You going first? You gonna flow right into your 12 minutes? No. Open up first, and then we come to your 12. We got to do it the right way.
I say as an affirmative, so he's going second.
No, he's going first. You're gonna do your opening, and then your 1 minute opening. You're gonna let the people know what you're here to prove, and then once you do your 1 minute, then I shake his.
Go back a little bit. First of all, the origin of everything does not come from Africa. That's Black Algae 101. You're going to get beat with that statement, right? That's the early rookie mistake in the game. It's an early mistake in the game. Early mistake, bro. Early mistake. A lot of things we can talk about that don't come from Africa. A lot of things we can talk about that's foundational that do come from Africa. There's a lot of things we can talk about China and different places, right? A lot of things, man.
On the continent, yes, there's a relationship, but there's an order.
Let's get it in.
All right, and when we consider the science of the ancient on the continent, yes, there's a relationship, but there's the other science. This is the genesis, right? Starting with the hunter-gatherers and people like that. Mainstream science is nothing more than the child of African science.
Nope, not true. Nope. Mainstream science matures in Europe. Mainstream science is the child of humans. It's a child of civilizations and culture that extend back to 350,000 years at the origin of Homo sapiens sapien. Sometimes going back past Homo sapiens sapien, Homo erectus. Different human species. It's the child of the human ingenuity around the earth. That's what makes it so strong. Remember, diversity rules the day. It's diverse of ideas that culminated in Europe because what? They had the technology, they had the money. They had the luck on their side. They bumped into two continents that prior to that, nobody knew about. Whole new flora, whole new fauna. When I say flora, plants, when I say fauna, it's animals. Whole different ecosystems that they found that Africa didn't know about, Asia didn't know about, and nobody knew about. The maps clearly show that. Biblical people didn't know about it. Of course they didn't, and that's a mistake. That's why they always get beat in conversations. Nobody knew about it. So science is the child of human populations around the world. And until you can understand it, you will never understand science. Science ain't just for people in Africa. It ain't just for people in Europe. And it sure as hell ain't for people in Australia, South America. It's not. It's a human endeavor. Very important.
Is there a relationship between mainstream science and what we consider the science of the ancient on the continent?
Yes, it is a relationship. Of course, science has not disconnected themselves from ancient wisdom. Why would you? Science matured because it kept a relationship. I don't even want to say relationship. They were stealing the indigenous plants from different areas, in particular West Africa. They would just take them. They would talk to the medicine men and medicine women. They would talk about past notes back and forth. They would go take it and study, send it to the Royal College, send it here, send it there, because they got the ability and the technology to send it around to different places now. And they wouldn't give credit to those indigenous people for supplying the plants, and they would add to it. That's what they did. Right now, pharmaceutical companies, they study the indigenous plants. They talk to the indigenous people. So that has not changed. He ain't said nothing new. Y'all should just know this and understand what's really going on.
Yes, there's a relationship, but there's an order. So you cannot put the mainstream, the current science of today over the ancient science that was the ethnogenesis.
Nah, yeah, it's not an order of things. It's not a left, right. It's not that. It's a building upon. It's an adding to. Coming from different places. While we learned this here, we learned that there. And I'll give you a good example of it. When it came to violation or inoculation, it was occurring in different places simultaneously. In West Africa, in China, and in India. People were inoculating. In China, they used to take the scab from a person with smallpox, and they would crush it up and blow it in the nose of an individual, and they would get some immunity from the smallpox. In West Africa, they would take the pus, a little bit of the pus from a sick individual, cut a little slit in a healthy individual, and introduce the pathogen to that, and would give it immunity, would give that person immunity. Forget how they did it in India. But it was different ways of doing it, and it culminates in the Americas by way of West Africa, where they studied the process. Cotton Mather and Boylston, a Harvard graduate, a doctor. And they would study these practices that came from Africa from Onesimus. And they contacted the Royal Society, the Royal College, which let them know that this practice was also happening in different parts of the world, and it might work. That's how that worked. It wasn't this one thing, man. There was an advantage of being able to travel the world, y'all. There was an advantage of having surplus of money, which came from the surplus of money came from free labor, slavery, and having access to these plants around the world. Open access, and you ain't got to pay for it. All that's in the game. Muddy. Crooked. But that doesn't stop the fact that science is the level. Science ain't evil. People can be evil.
And the father of all of the science that we're looking at. So I'm just here to show the people that there's a such thing as African science. We don't have to bow down to the people who try to dismiss the reality of a such thing as an African science.
That's not bowing down. That's not doing none of that. Ain't none of that happening, man. I'm saying if people are misconstruing what science actually is, man. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to change the epistemic regimes that indigenous cultures had. Simply put, they want to change the way people did knowledge in the far distant past. They want to change that. They don't want to give those people their propers. They don't want to put proper respect on the names of these civilizations and cultures that were in different places. South America, the Mayans, Mesoamerica, China, Africa, Nile Valley, Indus Valley. They don't want to give them people credit for having a system of knowledge that worked and was at the level of the time. They want to go to a place where science matured and make that the standard. It is not. It's another way of gaining knowledge. It's a certain way of doing it. Void of your religion, void of your folklore, and void of spookology. It's another way of doing knowledge. And it works for the time now. It's working. All that we know about the cosmos, we know in the last 125 years during the period of quote unquote maturing science, ladies and gentlemen. Or shall I say, during the period of this particular regime of gaining knowledge using the scientific method, empirical data, institutions, peer review. All that we know. Think about it. Homo sapiens sapiens 350,000 years or so old. And we only learned all that we know about the cosmos in the last 125 years. Look it up.
You know what I mean? And I'm also going to show that there's also a such thing as racist Euroscience. So if that exists, and the other people, they also have rights to their science, why can't African people have a science if we know for a fact that we are the originators?
No, that's that pseudo talk. That's that conscious community talk. That's that bullshit talk. That's that nonsense. That's taken away from what we actually did, which was the level and the standard of the time. We don't need to have the science that was matured in Europe in ancient times. We need what we had. You only have what you have. And it's about time we give respect to what we had, not to what we want them to have. In anthropology, they judge it off of what the culture was actually doing. They don't match it up with what we're doing today because it's disrespectful. It's unfair. It's unjust measurement. It's incoherent. It makes no sense. Well, you know, the Egyptians had chariots, but they ain't had no cars. It's crazy. That's what y'all doing. Well, you know, the Egyptians had this, that, no, but they had the tech, they built the pyramids. And somebody say, but they ain't built the Empire State Building. Y'all doing the exact same thing by taking away from what they did have and act like they had something they didn't. It's the same thing, y'all.
Everything come from Africa. We just seen Ankh and Sanchez have a debate about this. So the literal science.
They had no debate when I say everything came from no damn Africa. We had a debate on evolution and human beings, all humans coming from Africa. Knock it off.
scientific method that's being utilized today starts on the continent of Africa. I think that's a minute. Come on, let's go.
All right, Brother King J. Time start when you're ready, brother.
All right, let's see. Okay, so we already see he misconstrued the argument. He trying to act like they had some science they didn't have. He trying to make science origin in one particular place. All that is just wrong. They do give them credit for what they did have. That's how we know about it. Let's see what King J did.
So my opening is going into my. So am I going first, or should I say going first?
You going first? You're gonna flow right into your 12 minutes. No. Open up first, and then we come to your 12. We got to do it the right way. So
I say as the affirmative. So he's going second.
No, he's going first. You're gonna do your opening, and then your 1 minute.
Opening was going to go straight debating the nature of truth. My opponent is going to attempt to draw a map around the human mind. He is going to speak to you about the African science as if the laws of the universe change depending on the soil beneath your feet.
Yeah, so you see that the laws of the universe don't change because you're in Africa. Ecosystems may change, but the laws don't, y'all.
He is going to try to convince you that science is a cultural possession.
Science is not a cultural possession. It's a human endeavor. It occurs in all culture. Knowledge, wisdom, science. When I say science, I'm talking about modern science. I don't have to say modern science. It's how I'm using it. Systematic. Scientific method happens around the world.
Something that can be branded, owned, and segregated. I stand before you to argue a much more powerful and much more dignified position. Science has no passport. My thesis is simple. Science is not a what, it is a how. And I yield with that.
That's a good, strong opening right there, yo. No flim-flam in that, no fakery, no adding something to it. He's right there. We can all look that up. Right? Look, here you go. Out in this right here to show you who won that opening. Hold on. Here you go, right here. Remember that statement? Science has no single origin. There you go. Rather, see what the word rather? Comma. Scientific thinking emerged gradually over the course of tens of thousands of years, taking different forms around the world. And few details are known about the very earliest developments. Few details are known about that. And they give you something rough right here, right? Women likely played a central role. Women. Don't say African women. Don't say the blicky women. Don't say, it just say women played a central role. Central don't mean all of it. Role in prehistoric science, as did rituals. Don't say rituals from where. And they simply give an example over here of Noptoplaya, which is proto-astronomy. Proto-astronomy. Proto-astronomy is not astronomy. I'm not sitting here arguing with y'all. You know why? Because we're teaching. So there it go right there. This explains who opening was more coherent. King J's opening fits this. Science has no passport. He was simply saying science has no single origin. See that? There you go. I didn't make that up. So let's move on. One sec. All right, let's get to it. Here we go. Great opening. One was strewed in blackology and misinformation, and one was right to the point. You picking sides, Unc. The Wikipedia picked it.
Oh, man. Okay. So I say it's on you, my brother. It's on you, my brother. Let's put these let's put it up and let's get it in. Man, you got 12 minutes.
Let's go, Sly. Let me put this in slideshow formation so it look official. All right. Does African science even exist? The brother talking about no. So let's ask what the scholars have to say. What is African science? African science is generally described as the body of scientific knowledge, methods, and technologies developed by African societies, both ancient and modern.
Yeah, I like that. But that ain't science, though. See? Because you can't have science without the world participating in it. That's how we got to science. So we know this could not be the science that we're talking about, because it would require those African people making it all the way to America. Because when they made it all the way to America, they realized that the Greek philosophers was wrong. And that's when the authority changed from religion and humans and Greek philosophy or African philosophy to the actual phenomenon itself, ladies and gentlemen. How they say, he who has a ear, let him hear it. Oh, man, he who has a ear, let him hear it. Do y'all know what a phenomenon is, yo? Phenomenon, an observable fact or event, an item of experience or reality, whether phenomenon or natural phenomenon. Phenomenon, yeah. Rain is a natural phenomenon. Snow is a natural phenomenon. The wind, the way it blows, the oceans, natural phenomenon. But let's get back. Here we go.
Historian Toyin Falola explains that African science refers to the scientific knowledge system created within the African cultures. We can see it right here.
Yeah, see right there within the African culture, and we fine with that. That's how we know it's not science, because it was created within the African culture. If Europeans created science, then it wouldn't be actually science then, because it's not a single cultural thing. Do y'all get that? I hope so. Class actually moves very fast. That's how we know science. Europeans didn't create science, because it's not a one singular thing. It would be European cultural knowledge. It would not be science, y'all. Science is a particular way of gaining knowledge, a particular way, using the scientific method, using institutions, peer review, and has no one origin. I'm strict with that.
Why African, you can see the link also to it. Why Africa never experienced belated emergence in science, scientific advancement. That's from Fayola. He also states, Africa did not experience a belated emergence in scientific advancement. An extensive examination of the continent's historical trajectory reveals a multifaceted narrative in which science and morality are intricately interwoven. African Science Explained, page 2. Fayola emphasizes that African societies historically developed scientific practices rooted in their cultural knowledge systems. He says the organized, systematic enterprise that got us knowledge about the world and condensed the knowledge into testable laws and principles is the definition of science. When applied to African societies, this refers to the knowledge systems based on observation, experimentation, and practical technologies developed within African cultures. African science as an indigenous knowledge system. African cultures.
Hold on, let's go back. When applied to African societies, this refers to knowledge systems based on observations, experimentations, correct, and practical technologies developed within African cultures. Now that is African science, y'all. But that's not science. Y'all got to get that. European science, it's not science. Chinese science, it's not science. Because it happens in isolation. All right, let's keep going.
Practical technologies developed within African cultures. African science as an indigenous knowledge system. Many scholars describe African science as an indigenous knowledge system developed through interaction with nature. For example, Africana scholar Malefi Kete Asante argues that what we know of as science is the result of the thinking of our original ancestors. Who are the original scientists, if not the hunter-gatherers? This statement alone.
So what y'all think? Y'all think he really means scientists, yo? Or is he using it loosely, broad in a broader sense, yo? What you think? Ashe don't seem to know that. Ashe actually think that man really think they were scientists. Hell, let me play this clip right here. Look, my man Neil. Here we go. Let's go, Neil.
What person do I want to meet if I went back in time?
Right.
It'll be the scientist, Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton, British scientist. He was a professor at University of Cambridge. He held the endowed chair that Stephen Hawking now holds, the Lucasian professor of mathematics. And he was a physicist. Today we would think of him as a physicist. Back then he was what's known as a natural philosopher, today we would think of him as a physicist. Back then he was what's known as a natural philosopher.
So back then he's actually known as a natural philosopher. He comes after the Stone Age. Y'all didn't know that? So if Newton himself wasn't an actual scientist and a natural philosopher, then how the hell can hunter-gatherers be scientists? So Malay Asante can't possibly mean that. He's using it in a broad sense. Remember we talked about those dictionaries in a broad sense? Ashe actually thought that man said thought they were scientists, man, practicing science. At that point, you've already lost that round. At that point, brother. Let's move on. You take this moment real quick. Put up the sign. We got to sell some of these tickets, man. Dr. Reggie. Oh, I see something that just popped up in here. Dr. Reggie and Jabari. What's going on? What we doing? Be there. The link is in the description of both videos. Tickets is $50. It's happening on Saturday. Be there or be square. Tickets is moving fast. Make sure y'all show that love is important. Trying to figure out, will it be a knockout in the first round? Will Reggie get some licks in? Remember, if it's a tie, Reggie win. Remember, if Reggie get in some good licks, it's still a win. It's all on the line, man. And you know why it's going to be good? Because they generally don't like each other. We ain't got to act like they like each other. They don't like each other. What I will tell you is this. The shrine won't be the same after this debate. We're going to learn how shrines supposed to work, how they not. We're going to figure out if the Africans' indigenous system, did they have a belief system? Was it literal? Was it not? Was it real? Was it not? It's going to be real technical in there, and it's going to be some good scholarship. Will a pseudo-judo sword fight? Will Jabari try to bring in some of his spoogisms? Will Reggie misconstrue scientific ideas? We don't know. Make sure y'all be there. What's going on, sa.neter? How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I was just getting on, wondering what the hell is you doing, bro?
I'm going over the debate. Now,
you know the debate is tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'm promoting.
Why are you wasting your time with this?
Because I'm
supposed to be doing a marathon.
Because I'm doing my show. Because I'm doing my show, and my show ain't.
I understand. But I'm saying, you know, the debate is tomorrow.
Why ain't you call me and tell me that? Why you ain't call me and tell me that?
It's all right. It's all right, brother. I ain't know it was a secret.
Yeah, no, call me and tell me that.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Tell me that. Right, you get it, right?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, call me and tell me that.
I get it, brother.
Yeah, let's do that.
But I want to say, can I weigh in on this debate here?
Yeah, as long as you don't overtalk me, because I'm not doing that.
I'm not going to overtalk you. What I want to say is,
No. Listen. In this conversation, bro, what we're not doing is talking shit. So you have to provide a source. Don't hide your strategy. Don't do that, right? Because I don't want to get the people confused. You get my point? I don't want nobody confused because guess what?
I want to say is,
let me say this.
King Jay got his ass whipped in this debate, brother. Why are you doing this, man?
Of course he did, brother.
Yeah, why are you doing this, man?
Of course he did. And you know why he did, Senator? Because you don't understand.
Beat the hell out of King J in this debate.
You know you got a chance to prove it, right? Here you go. I'm gonna put this up on the screen for you.
I gotta go, man. I gotta go promote the debate on my channel.
Hold on.
King J got spanked, man.
Don't run. You see this up here? You see this definition right here? Do you understand how a dictionary works, right? Come on, sir. Don't be. You ran. He's out of the game. Yeah. He threw that little feather help like he always do. Now, back to our regular scheduled programming. Now we back. Here we go. All right. Where we at? All right, let's go. Where we at? All right, here we go. Let's finish what we doing.
Highlights that empirical observation of nature, such as tracking animals, understanding plants, and astronomy, which we go get off into, formed early scientific knowledge systems in Africa. Let me actually escape out of here so I can hit the link for the people.
Now watch this. Now the reason I'm going over this debate before the debate, because I want to show you how we're going to critique this next goddamn debate. I'm tired of playing with this, man. We're going to go source for source. We're going to figure out who making it up and who not. That's how we got to do this. This is what we do as pseudo killers, as community skeptics, people that are skeptical about what humans are doing. If we want to really see who did what, we don't want to hear a person who got seniority or who started this thing or started that thing say something and everybody believe it. We won't really see. So y'all better get used to it.
And we can actually go over here. Now, this is a, let me make sure y'all got we on the screen. I got to bring this down side because I got to share another screen.
If you need
to a source.
All right.
Witwatersrand, Johannesburg. Now, Wits is the equivalent, if you ask me, of like a Yale or Harvard over here in the Americas. All of the greatest, they come out of Wits when it comes down to Africa. So here we see it. Coming out 2022 from Wits University, hunter and gatherers in Africa were the original scientists. The debate can low-key stop there. But I'm going to keep on going for the people.
Hunter-gatherers aren't the original anything. Hunter-gatherers are hunter and gatherers, and they develop a knowledge system that would add to what would later on mature. It's the first stages of knowledge are produced amongst hunter and gatherers. Traditional systems, folklore, religion, information gathered by these traveling people.
The willful lack of knowledge about deep time African history must end, says Professor Molefe Kete Asante, a giant in African studies. He says, given his contribution to the African-centered scholarship and philosophy, as well as his influence on the development of intellectual thought on African diaspora, it is befitting that the University of Witwatersrand in Johannesburg would bestow an honorary degree. He says, Africans were the first to name God. What we know of as a science is a result of the thinking of our original ancestors. Indeed, we are the original scientists, not the hunter-gatherers. The beauty and ingenuity of the ancient pyramids indicates not only the age of the continent, but that human beings have an enormous capacity for the art. The Egyptian pyramid, he said, long precedes Jesus Christ's time on this earth. So you know that there is one. So we'll go back to the presentation, brother. Come out of that, and we'll get back to the presentation itself. Just want to go into that source so we can actually get that quote from the professor himself. And that you know we're not in here on the freestyle. Let's go into the hunter-gatherers. Anthropologist Louis R. Benford argued that the hunter-gatherers developed highly sophisticated ecological knowledge through observation. He states the hunter-gatherers possess detailed knowledge of the behavior, distribution, and seasonal movements of the animals and plants within their environment. Louis R. Benford, In the Pursuit of the Past, Decoding the Archaeological Record, 1983, Chapter 6, Bones for Bones, Hunter and the Gatherers, page 129 through 126, through 166, I apologize. Hunter-gatherers explain. Similarly, anthropologist Richard B. Lee, who studied the sand people of the Southern Africa, wrote, the Kung know the habits and characteristics of hundreds of plants of animal species. Their knowledge of the environment is extensive and precise. The Kung, San, this is in his book, The Kung, San, Man, Women, and Work in the Foraging Society, 1979. Here we even can observe the scientific method. For how are you going to be observing? If you're observing these things, you're putting them to the test, you're putting them into certain
You can't observe the scientific method before the scientific method. No, you cannot. He's making that up. He can't source that up. Let me read it. Similarly, anthropologist Richard B. Lee, who studied the sand people of Southern Africa, wrote, the Kung know the habits and characteristics of hundreds of plants and animal species. That is correct. They are observing their environment. Their knowledge of the environment is extensive and precise. Of course it is. The Kung Sandmen women work in the foraging societies, 1979. Of course. Goes on to say the environment. He goes on to say these plants were classified by edibility, medical value, toxic, and tool use. Absolutely. Discusses the ecological knowledge and environment adaptation. That's what we talked about. Traditional ecological knowledge. Tech. Remember we said that? This is exactly what the early tried, but this is not science. This is what indigenous tribes were practicing, a specific way of knowledge. Now, if you want to throw the term African science on that, yes, but let the people know you're not talking about actual science. And that whole statement about the scientific method, there is no, they do not know the scientific method. That is ridiculous. Makes no sense and completely out of order. Putting a whole lot on it, too much.
Medicinal ingredients and all kind of stuff. You got to know what you're hunting. You got to know how the hoof looks. You got to know the way that this animal is moving. You got to know what this animal eats, what the animal's dung.
The science of hunting. The science of cooking. That's what he doing to y'all right there. You got to look at their hoof. Whatever, man.
Look like this is all utilizing the scientific method. Let's keep on going.
Cat made that up.
We have chapter the environment where he speaks on the he goes on to say that the plants were classified by the edibility, the medicinal value, the toxicity, and the tool use. So this is just going through the scientific method utilized.
Oh, no, it wasn't. But let me see. Botanical science, plant knowledge. All right, let's see. See how he messed this up. See how he overwhoop it. Is that Stone Age? This demonstrates empirical plant chemistry knowledge in the New Stone Age. Where'd he get that from? Let's go. Let's see.
Early with the hunter-gatherers on the continent of Africa. Botanical science, which is just plant knowledge. Research by archaeologist Lynn Wadley is one of the strongest pieces of evidence scholars use to show prehistoric botanical science in Africa. Her work focused on the plant used by early humans at Border Cave and Sabudu Cave, where she found clear evidence that people deliberately selected insect-repelling plants tens of thousands of years ago. Insect-repelling bedding at Sabudu Cave, they found bedding layers made of plants that naturally repel the insect. The plant identified was Cryptocoria woody, a camphor-smelling tree indigenous to Africa. Wiley writes the bedding included the leaves of the Cryptocoria woody, which contains the insect repellent chemical. Stop my time real quick, Saab, because once again, I'm finna go into a PubMed source.
So right now, if y'all sitting here thinking that that's science, then y'all in the wrong conversation, yo. Okay? At this time period, they don't even know about the element chart. I'm going to say this again. In this time period, there is no understanding of the element chart. They don't even know about the elements. They don't know about chemistry. Know about none of that. Look at the dates. How they said, you putting something on the people that wouldn't have known nothing about what your guy daggone saying, yo. Now, did they have knowledge of plants? Yes. Did they understand that this particular plant keeps insects away? Yep, but they didn't know why. They didn't know the chemical breakdown of it. That would come later on with Percy Julian, or Julian Percy, African-American scientist that unlocked the secret magic of plants. He unlocked the active ingredients, the chemistry of it. He's a top-notch African-American chemist. This is thousands of years later when this process will be revealed to humans. So the chemical elements, the active ingredients, have always been in plants, predating humans. But understanding that doesn't come till later on. See that? So if y'all sitting here thinking, yeah, man, they had it. No, they didn't, bro. They did what they were supposed to do, and what they did, y'all probably couldn't do. It would take you thousands of years living in those particular areas to gain this particular information, just like it took them thousands of years to collect the plants. They didn't just walk out one day and make the separation. Somebody got to die, somebody got to get sick, somebody got to get healthy. All that got to occur, and they got to transmit that before they can start putting that together. Y'all probably think they went out there and say, boom. That ain't what happened.
All right, that's fine. What's your time? What's your?
Gotta ask Si. I'm
you can't talk.
So I'm gonna go to this source real quick. Let's get it on the screen for the people. All right. Here we have it. PubMed. For the source, this is regarding the woody tree, the woody in the bed layout. Middle Stone Age, this is from PubMed. Middle Stone Age bedding construction and settlement patterns at Subutu, South Africa. It states, the Middle Stone Age is associated with early behavior innovations, expansions of modern humans within and out of Africa, and occasional population bottlenecks. Several innovations in the Middle Stone Age are seen in archaeological sequence in the books in the rock shelter Subutu, South Africa. About 77,000 years ago, people constructed plant bedding from sedges and other monocotyledons topped with aromatic leaves containing insectical, which would mean that they're repelling insect repelling and larvicidal chemicals. These would be like your modern day like bug kill, if you would. Beginning at about 73,000 years ago, bedding was burned, presumably for site maintenance. By 58,000 years ago, the bedding construction, burning, and other forms of site use and maintenance intensified, suggesting that the settlement strategies changed. Behavioral differences between 77,000 and 58,000 years ago, again, may coincide with population fluctuations in Africa. So here was the source that we actually got just on the plant bedding itself, showing that within this cave, here you had these very antiqual people, if you would, had a firm knowledge of this plant, which they was utilizing. And this plant this is happening on the continent of Africa. This is an indigenous plant to Africa. So it takes a firm understanding of the environment that you're in. This is going to go through trial and error. You got to test this to see if it's right. You got to see if it goes through the scientific method, plain as day. That's all we actually kind of bring forth. So I'll stop sharing that. We'll go right back to the present.
It don't go through the scientific method. Ain't no damn scientific method. It's 77,000 years ago. How can it go through the scientific method? It went through their method of knowledge, not the scientific method. You lost that round too. You overwhooped it. You overextended yourself. You did too much. You went far beyond the boundaries of what people could do at 77,000 years ago. It's unacceptable. Crazy. Man, I tell you, boy. I'm trying to tell you. I don't even know why. I'm just trying to figure out. Let me see. How can I get, hold on. Wait a minute. See if I can get this. Wait a minute. Let me see something here. Wait a minute. Let me see something. Hold on, y'all. Let me get this together. I want to do a kind of break it down for you because he said a lot in that round. Let me see as he finished.
Itself. Right. Because this is actually more fun than I thought it was going to be. So let's get back into it. Bang. So Wiley writes, the bedding included the leaves, which contain the insect repellent chemicals. Wiley explained that the plant was intentionally selected, not randomly collected. The selection of these aromatic leaves suggests that the people understood their insect repellent properties. This demonstrates empirical plant chemistry knowledge in the Middle Stone Age in where? Africa. In the bedding part 2, page 2, bedding technology and plant processing. Another important study by Wiley describes how the plants were prepared and layered to create sleeping surfaces. She observed people created the bedding from the sedges, grass, and aromatic leaves. These layers were then placed on ash, and then they were burned. This ash acted as an insect repellent. The ash, she states, the ash layers beneath the bedding may have helped control the insect pests. We even see that today with the we have certain insect repellents today where you burn it, and the ash from the actual repellent itself is going to keep away the mosquitoes and various bugs. So here we see it. Middle Stone Age Africans in Sabutu Cave had a knowledge that we're utilizing today. But this is letting you know that this is the genesis. This is the layout. This is the forefront, right? And of course, we had a whole source attached to that as well, but I'm not, for the sake of time, we're not going to go into that. But that shows the use of the scientific method. This will take trial and error and an understanding of the environment to make the sleeping quarters comfortable. Let's go into ethnobotany in Africa. Ethnobotanists have documented extensive medicinal plant knowledge in African societies in the book African Ethnobotany. Researchers describe how traditional healers and foragers identify plant compounds for medicinal use. Example, knowledge systems include the anti-inflammatory plants, which will be native to the continent of Africa, antiseptic tree resins, and digestive remedies. Understand that when we're talking about ethnobotany, and we just understood that botany is the understanding of the plants and the knowledge of the plants. Depending on where you're at, the plant is going to be different. So, of course, the result is going to be different and the application is going to be different, right? But because all human beings do start on the continent of Africa, this is the ethnogenesis of botany and ethnobotany itself. Let's keep on going. Now, researchers describe how traditional healers and foragers identify plant compounds for medicinal use. Example, ethnobotany is the scientific study of how people, particularly indigenous or local cultures, use and relate to plants for food, medicine, shelters, and ritual. Next, we are going to the Eber papyrus. Eber papyrus, and this is just going to show the continuation from literally Middle Stone Age all the way up into the Kemetic culture, dealing with the Kemetic dynasties, right? Just showing this continuation of African science from what we consider quote-unquote proto-science to even what we're going to observe in the Edwin Smith papyrus of literal science. But I'm going to open that up in my next round after we listen to this brother try to divorce Africa from the scientific world.
All right, King J, you ready, brother?
Yep, I'm ready. That was a fast 12.
Right, presentation up. Let's get it in. You got 12 minutes in your first round.
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready. All right.
So let's see what King J got to say. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you exactly what that summary was. Now, if y'all can remember this page right here, real quick, right here, I'm going to do a summary on what this actually means, right? So y'all can get a clear understanding of it, right? It's clearly high level for plants. Clearly high level, but not the level, y'all. It's not that. So he is mischaracterized, right? So if he's saying that African science is traditional knowledge and wisdom, then we agree. If he's saying that that's actually science, then he's wrong. But we understand the title of the debate. Was they debating that Africans had traditional knowledge? No. They was debating whether African science was on par with science, thus making it science. That's what they was actually debating. All right, let's get to King J. Let's see.
I'm doing my PowerPoint presentation from presenter's view.
Okay, let's get it in. Let's go.
Let's go. Are you sharing my screen?
Not yet. I'm waiting on you to get ready. Your screen is now sharing. Let me know. You ready? Time starts when you're ready. Let's go. Start talking.
Let's get it. All right. Science has no passport. The case for universalism. Why African science is a category error. Judges, worthy opponent, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, I read this at the beginning of my, so I'll skip down to where I left off at. I stand before you to argue a much more powerful and much more dignified position. Science has no passport. My thesis is simple. Science is not what is a how, it is a methodology, not a cultural artifact. Excuse me. To call a discovery African or Western is a category error. It is like calling the sun African because it shines on the Sahara, or calling the Pacific Ocean Asian because it touches the coast of Japan. The sun and the ocean simply exist. Humans do not create the laws of nature, we simply discover them. The definition of the method. What is science? Let us be clinical. Science is the systematic study of the physical world through observation and rigorous testing. It is a process that is indifferent to the identity of the person performing it. If a doctor in Lagos and a doctor in London both study the same virus, they are not practicing two different sciences. They are using the same microscopes to look at the same genetic code to find the same cure. If they were truly practicing different sciences, they would never be able to speak the same language or share the same results. My opponent will cite the brilliant achievements of our ancestors, and I will join him in that praise. But I will argue that labeling those achievements African actually diminishes them. It suggests they are only true within a specific cultural context. I believe African thinkers were accessing a universal truth that belongs to every human being on this planet. To segregate this truth is to segregate the human soul. And here we go into little biology, the Talibans. Let us look at the evidence of the universal mind. 30,000 years ago in the Czech Republic, a human carved 55 notches into a wolf bone to count. 10,000 years later, on the shores of Lake Edwards in the Congo, another human carved prime numbers and doubling sequences in the Shango bone. These are two people that never met. They never had shared culture, yet they arrived at this exact same logic. Why? Because logic is the soft mirror of the human brain. It is a biological inevitability. Whether you are in the Rift Valley or the Danube River, 1 + 1 has never been 3. A prime number has never been divisible. The African mind was never inventing a local math. It was the pioneer of the global math that governs us all. As we move through this debate, I ask the judges to keep one question in mind. Does a bridge stand because of the culture, or does it stand because of the physics? The opposition wants to talk about pride. I want to talk about dignity. Real dignity is not found in having your own science. It is found in the fact that the African mind is perfectly calibrated to master the only science that exists. By the end of this round, I will prove to you that while discoveries happens in different places, the truth those discoveries reveal has no home but the universe itself. And here we go. Let's get into it. So we start with definitions from me. So science, the systematic study of the structure and behavior of the physical and natural world through observation, experimentation, and the testing of these theories against the...
So he's defining what he's talking about. He's defining science, a systematic study of nature. All right? The systematic, empirical data produced. Let's go back again. He's defining this term. Is he on par with what he's doing? Let's see.
So science, the systematic study of the structure and behavior of the physical and natural world through observation, experimentation, and the testing of these theories against the evidence obtained. No, this is definitely secular and non-cultural. Objective reality, a world that...
Objective and subjective. Objective, you use empirical data. Subjective, it's your own idea. You're guessing. It's your opinion. See the difference? So they was actually having two different debates here. Disguised under the banner of science. One was talking about traditional knowledge, which nobody disagrees, and one was talking about science. So Ashe gonna have to make this clear. Ashe, was you trying to prove that people at 177,000 years ago had science, or was you trying to prove that they had traditional knowledge or tech, traditional ecological knowledge? What was you trying to prove here? Was you trying to say that African science was actually science, or was you trying to say that African science was traditional knowledge and wisdom? Now, if you was trying to say that it was traditional African wisdom, then you're doing a great job. But I heard the way you tried to play with it and act like it was on par in science. So you really was saying that they had science. So you can't trick us. But we want to hear you try to trick us in your response, though, bro. We want to hear you say that. We want to hear it. Now, once again, if you was trying to prove that they had traditional knowledge, then you did a good job of it. But if you was doing that, then why would you keep throwing in science that was on par with this and with on? Why would you do that then, bro? It's either science or it's not. Let's see.
That exists independent of any individual's or culture's perspectives, beliefs, or feelings. For example, a rock is always going to be hard, whether you believe a spirit lives in it or not. All right. So the word African, I'm giving you a definition in this particular context, is going to be a geographic and cultural designation. My argument is that a continent cannot own a law of nature. It can only be the site where a human discovered it. Universalism, the philosophical stance that certain facts, laws, and rights are applicable to all human beings, regardless of your culture, your melanin, or your geographical location, right? Empiricism, I always get that word, the theory that all knowledge is derived from sense experience. This is the trial and error the brother I say was just speaking about. It is the precursor to science, but this is not science itself, right? And then we give a definition of falsibility, which is the capacity for a theory to be proven wrong, right? If a science cannot be proven wrong, like a religious belief, it is not science. Let's go. Fun part. Let's get it. Ethnoscience versus universal science, the great divide. So we see here ethnoscience, which is basically looking at the cultural lens that we view things and how we actually look at the actual science itself, right? Definition: a cross-cultural study of how different groups of people perceive and categorize their world.
So he's showing the difference between ethnoscience and universal science, the great divide. He's explained it to you. This is very clear, right? Ashe is talking about ethnoscience. King J is talking about universal science. Ethnoscience is cultural specific. All right? So Charles Darwin evolution ain't cultural specific. Evolution occurs to the biology, regardless of where the ants are. You can be in North America, evolution gonna occur. South America, evolution gonna occur. You can be in the Nile Valley and the human, evolution gonna occur. It's not based off the culture. Ashe was talking about ethnoscience. Here we go.
What the brothers is calling African science, we would call indigenous knowledge per se, in regards to holistic healing and traditional medicine. Source would be oral traditions, of course, religious rituals, and localized observation. Something that the brother did mention earlier before was observation. But that's not the only thing that you need to have science, brother. You need more than observation. The goal of ethnoscience is cultural preservation and survival within a specific environment. Most times, the limitation is context dependent. It works within the culture itself. Well, it works within the culture that created it, but lacks a mechanism, right, to be proven wrong outside of that culture, right? And normally that mechanism is a deity, right? I can't disprove your God, right? So these practices that the brother, and we'll get into it earlier when the brother was talking about the plants, right, and the study of the plants, or the study of how
lacks a mechanism outside of your culture to prove it wrong. Falsification. He's spot on. The deity says it's going to rain. You can't disprove it because it's outside of nature. It's cultural. He's very clear and he's very concise in what he's saying. On the other hand, Ashe is wishy-washy. We don't know if Ashe is trying to say that they had science or was it cultural science? Was it ethno? We don't know. Because if it was just talking about cultural science, then no one would disagree with you because cultural science ain't science. It's specific to the culture. Deity-driven. No falsification. Listen, watch how clear this is. But yet they claim this man lost.
And we'll get into it earlier when the brother was talking about the plants, right? And the study of the plants, or the study of how a culture uses those plants, right? Is basically what he was talking about. We'll talk about, did these people know about the salicylic acid, right? Or did they just give credence to it working, or give it, thanks to a deity? So, judges, my opponent is using the word science. Wait, hold on. Let me just jump to the definition of universal science, which is the objective lens, right? Which is the stance that I'm taking. Definition: a systematic enterprise that builds and organizes knowledge in the form of testable explanations and predictions about the universe. Source: methodological naturalization. I'm sorry, my eyes are small. Stripping away the supernatural. So there is no metaphysical in science and the scientific method. Goal: the discovery of the universal laws that apply everywhere, at all times, to everybody, no matter of your melanin, no matter of your geographic location. These universal laws will apply, right? So the strength is in the context. It is context dependent. It works whether you believe in it or not, regardless of your heritage or your culture.
It's context specific, regardless if it's your heritage, what you believe in or not. Very clear. No in between on that. You can have smallpox in North America and have smallpox in Africa. It don't matter because you Zulu, you're not going to catch smallpox. You're not going to catch corona because you this or because you that. Because you're in Russia. I'm in Russia. Now you're black and you got the melanin.
Excuse me. Judges, my opponent is using the word science, but what he is actually describing is ethnoscience.
See what I'm saying? Now tell me he ain't right. We just did it. I'm going to prove to you that this man is right. Watch this. Keep going.
Ethnoscience is a beautiful thing. It is the way our ancestors categorized the plants in the rainforest or the stars in the African sky to survive. It is the rich in poetry and culture. It is rich with poetry and culture, but we must be honest. Ethnoscience is not science. Science requires the courage to say, I don't care what my ancestors believe, I care what the data actually shows. Ethnoscience is about identity. Universal science is about reality. If you use a traditional herb because your grandmother said it works, that is ethnoscience. If you isolate the chemical compound in that herb, test it against a placebo in a double-blind study and publish the results for the world to see, that is universal science.
All right, let's go back to this, man. This was an excellent job right here, man. Man, he could take this in a college, yo, and they would accept this. Let's see. Let's go back. Let's see how he did this, man. He had command of the information. He was there. He was there.
Courage to say, I don't care what my ancestral science is not poetry and culture forest or the stars and the thing. It is the way he is actually, excuse me.
First of all, he gives credit to the indigenous people. Talk about how beautiful it was and how serious it was for the time. Okay? And it was a way for them to understand the world they lived in. He didn't bash anything. He gave credit. He didn't lie, didn't cheat. Watch how he bring this home, though.
Judges, my opponent is using the word science, but what he is actually describing is ethnoscience. Ethnoscience is a beautiful thing. It is the way our ancestors categorized the plants in the rainforest or the stars in the African sky to survive. It is the rich in poetry and culture. It is rich with poetry and culture, but we must be honest. Ethnoscience is not science. Science requires the courage to say, I don't care what my ancestors believe, I care what the data actually shows.
I don't care what my ancestors believe. I have the courage to say what the data say, and that is where the damn rubber meets the road, and that's where most people fall off. Well, they said the herbs work in China, so thus we use it. Well, you got this African sea moss, ungerminated, and it worked. Yeah. That ain't how the damn world works. He's very clear in what he's talking about. And he explained what his opponent was talking about. But Ashe won't admit that. He's going to try to act like they had science and then act like they had watch it. Just listen. Watch what he do when he try to respond to this. He's going to act like cooking was actually science, as if we was talking about the daggone in general broader sense. He's going to act like that this particular debate wasn't over whether they had science or not. He was trying to prove they had traditional knowledge. Man, knock it off, man. I would just call it science. Watch how he do it.
Ethnoscience is about identity. Universal science is about reality. If you use
ethnoscience is about identity, identifying your tribe, your clan, and how we do what we do in our world. How we manage our plants in our world. Ethnoscience
requires the courage to say, I don't care what my ancestors believe, I care what the data actually shows. Ethnoscience is about identity. Universal science is about reality. If you use a traditional herb because your grandmother said it works, that is ethnoscience. If you isolate the chemical compound in that herb, test it against a placebo in a double-blind study and publish the results for the world to see, that is universal science. The opposition wants to keep Africa in the realm of ethnoscience, a special category for special people. I reject that. I believe the African mind is ready for the universal stage. We don't need a science that only works in our village. We master the science that works.
Absolutely. And right now in Africa, they're practicing real science. Right now, doing a great job. Doing their thing. Right now in Australia, they're practicing science. And I'm not talking about Europeans. Right now in China, right now, different people from different villages have went to school and practiced science and are adding to the body of knowledge and wisdom that is universally accepted, not just in Africa, not just in a particular clan or tribe.
Works in our entire cosmos. My opponent is fighting for a cultural mirror. I am fighting for a universal key. That's the difference. Let's go.
Cultural mirror, universal, deep, killing them. He could say the same thing in any university in the world. And they would understand the difference of what he's talking about and how the knowledge of indigenous knowledge is important and how science is important. He's giving y'all both. And he's explaining the difference between the two. He's not marginalizing it. He's not saying that, oh, the science is better than the traditional. He's not saying that. But on the other hand, that's exactly what O'Shea is doing. And the nigga not even from Africa. They ain't never smelled the sacred ground of Africa. Ain't never went in the village. Well, hell, I ain't saying I didn't either. He African himself to death right out the damn debate. Now, I'm going to say this again. Is O'Shea going to say that he was trying to prove that these indigenous people had traditional ecological knowledge? Or was he trying to say that these people had science with the scientific method and all that? Because we heard him say it. What was you trying to say, O'Shea? Was you trying to say that these indigenous hunter-gatherer people in the Stone Age were scientists? Or was you trying to say they had traditional knowledge? What was you trying to say? Was you trying to say the traditional knowledge we call African science? I agree. Or was you trying to say traditional knowledge is the Merriam-Webster first definition science? What was you trying to say?
So how much time I have left?
You have 3 minutes.
Let's go. Ethnoscience versus universal. Judges, let us look at the cultural cure by definition. An ethnoscience-based cure often relies on the subjective state of the patient or practitioner. It requires faith in the specific, or it requires faith in a specific God, ancestor, or ritual. The problem is, if the cure requires belief for it to work, it isn't medicine, it's placebo. The ethic will fail. What happens to the person who doesn't believe, or the person from a different culture? In the world of cultural cures, the truth is exclusive. It's a members-only reality. If your God doesn't recognize me, your science cannot save me. The indifference of science, the universal antibiotic. Now look, a universal antibiotic, let's take penicillin, for example. The logic is this: penicillin works by inhibiting the synthesis of the bacterial cell wall. It doesn't care if the patient is a king or a peasant. It doesn't care if the patient is a Christian, a Muslim, an atheist. It doesn't care if the patient believes that medicine will work or not, right? The equality of biology. The molecule is indifferent to your culture. Listen, the molecule, the science doesn't care what you are, right? It's trying to heal you, brother. It doesn't care if you're black, white, what continent you're on. You can be in Africa, China. It interacts with the biology of the bacteria, not the identity of the human. This is the highest form of equality. Universal science treats all human bodies as equally worthy of the same objective, truth. The accountability gap, let's talk about that. If a cultural cure fails, the blame is often placed on the patient. You didn't pray enough, or your spirit was unclean. This is a closed loop that avoids accountability. In universal science, in the stance that I'm taking, if an antibiotic fails, we don't blame the patient's soul, right? We look for antibiotic resistance. We study the mutation of the bacteria itself. We refine the science and go from there. Universal science is the only system that takes the burden off of the human spirit and places it on the actual method itself, right? So let's go. Next slide. We talk about science is a methodology, not a culture. You can invent a style or dance or a recipe, that is culture, but you discover the laws of physics. The laws of the universe were there before the humans existed. Africans didn't create math. They tapped into the universal logic of the universe. To call it African is like calling the sun African because it shines on the Sahara. If 1 + 1 = 2 in the Congo, it must equal 2 in Chicago as well.
Shit. He smoked them. See, I judge a debate based off of whether you could actually play this in a classroom and educate people and not miseducate them and confuse them. You could definitely play this presentation in a classroom. So he got smoked in the introduction and he got smoked in round 1. And if you keep running your mouth, Alshay, I'm going to go into round 2. What I want to do is, introduction was fire. Go to King J in round 1, clear. Matter of fact, Alshay done set himself a trap that he can never get out of it. He laid down a foundation so strong on traditional African knowledge that he can't move away from it. It'll only get worse because he'll try to explain how traditional African knowledge or traditional Bantu knowledge or traditional Australian knowledge, indigenous people knowledge, is some kind of way science. It's not. But he'll try to explain it in round 2 and 3. This I am sure of. The picture will become clear why he got so badly beat. Now I'm going to say this. Was Alshay trying to say that African science was science, like the scientific method? Or was he trying to say that African science was just traditional knowledge? Yeah. Very interesting. Would like to go back to here, where the flammery started. Botanical science, plant knowledge. I would like to address this. Okay? Let's address it. And why I gave round 1 to King J. Clarity was there, everything that was there that's needed. Every aspect of it clear, we got it. He defined his terms. There was no wishy-washy. We meet clear distinction. That traditional knowledge, the African science ain't science because of this, and this. It's fitted for a particular tribe, clan, country. Clear. No confusion there. On the other hand, we don't know. Is you saying this? Is you saying that? What is you saying? How are you saying it? What the hell you think you're saying? What is you saying? Are you saying what you're saying? What the world are you saying? Can't believe you're saying. Are you saying what you're saying or not saying what you're saying? Let me get that out of there. All right. I don't want to say that. Okay. Let me got that. All right. Clear this up. Then we're going to go over there. Where in the world? All right. We do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. Do this. All right. Slideshow. In and out. Boom. Now, the prehistoric botanical knowledge in Africa. Archaeological evidence from Sabudu Cave and Broader Cave shows a Middle Stone Age people, right, intentionally selected use for plants. All right? They did it on purpose. Through trial and error, they started to figure out what plants did this, what plants do that, without understanding the active ingredients, which would move it on to science. The why do the bugs stay away from the plants? They didn't know why. Pretty sure it occurred through serendipity. They got the plants together, and these particular plants, the insects stopped coming around. These discoveries demonstrate sophisticated empirical plant knowledge acquired through observation and experience. See what I'm saying? Man, I observed them daggone bugs ain't coming around. What you think it is, Joe? I don't know. Let's try this. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. What's this? Was it? Oh, let's pass it on to Billy and Barbara. Okay, we'll just keep using that. But they don't know why. It says historians of science generally distinguish this knowledge from modern botanical science. So our shade tried to trick them, ship you, by putting that heading there as if it was botanical science. It was not. Here's the page. Remember botanical science, plant knowledge. Made it up. Lynn Wiley and colleagues discovered bedding made with, let me get this right, Crotocrea woody leaves. These leaves naturally contained insect repellent chemicals. See, today we will be able to identify the particular chemicals in the plants today. That will be science. Now, repeated use indicates deliberate plant selection rather than accidental collection. Right. I guarantee you it started accidentally. And over time, they started to figure out what was what, and they deliberately put these plants together in the bedding to stop the insects. What does this mean? The evidence demonstrates observation, experimentation, and practical learning. Knowledge was likely transmitted across generations. This is excellent evidence for empirical ethnobotanical knowledge. See that? That's what it is. There's no confusion in what I'm saying. I'm saying exactly what you think you're reading. Science or plant knowledge. Empirical knowledge is based on observation and repeated experience. Modern science also requires hypothesis, testing, controlled experiments, peer review, and scientific institutions. You think they had a damn scientific institution? Did you think they have controlled experiments? Did you think they wrote out a damn hypothesis using the scientific method? If you thought that, you need to call the nearest shrink. You're in trouble? Get the hospital, get them out of here. If you're sitting there thinking that, that's 77,000 years ago. Therefore, the archaeological evidence is best described as an early empirical or traditional ecological knowledge, tech, plant knowledge that was at or above the level for their time, not science. So there you go. Wait a minute. Here's the sources. I use the actual sources that he used himself, right? I just put the homework on it. All the sources he thought he used, I used the sources and properly demonstrated it. Wendell, okay? Stone edge bedding, construction, settlement patterns at Sabadu, South Africa. Journal of Science. Y'all know I talked about this 15 years ago, just for the record. That's how I knew what to do. Plant use in human evolution in prehistory, right? So we've been on top of this. That's how I know how to judge these types of contests, right? You're going to say, oh, you're biased. No, I'm not, man. I'm just judging the evidence, bro. Now, we drop the link. Anybody want to get in here and talk about it, you can, man. If not, we'll just go over there and continue to promote that damn debate in that marathon. Let me put up here real quick, man. There you go. Y'all know what it is, man. Get there. Empirical knowledge is we were saying empirical knowledge would be, well, we're going to remember something and we're not going to write it down, right? We're just going to collect this data and we're going to memorize it and we're going to pass it on to the next generation. Now, if you're talking about empirical data today, we're talking about writing it down. We talked about peer reviewing and all that. But back in those times, they didn't have writing. Common sense would tell you that. So we have a different idea of what empirical looks like back then. All right? Get that straight. Don't get it confused. I know you're trying to confuse it up on purpose. I know you is. That's the link. If y'all want to get in here, we can. If not, we can move on. Hey, man, hit that Cash App, man. Let's see how many Cash Apps we got. Not one. Playing. Crazy. Man, what is that? Go I tell you. All right, there we go. Do what y'all want to do, right? Give y'all a couple of minutes, man. Make sure, you got that debate coming up. Hit the link in the thing, man. Tickets is $50 now because y'all waited so long, man. Jabari, Brother Reggie, man. All right. The net is literal, man. We're going to find this out, man. All right. We're going to figure it out. Is where the rubber going to meet the road. Just like in this debate, we're going to go back over it. We're going to see whose sources match what, who made what up, who did what, who did, how they do it, and why they did it. That's my little speech right there. That's my little commentary on this last debate right here, man. That's how we do it. We keep it right, yo. That's what it is. Wop Funk, man, I don't know why you so messed up on this topic here, man. Think you tripping. You know you can have a systematic way of doing something, yo. Stick to a system, yo. Consider that empirical. Yeah. You don't got to have an institution, all that. You just do it systematically. I'm saying I want to do this, I want to do something, I want to do that. But that's my review on the introduction round and the first round. And if Alshay keep running his mouth, I'm gonna do the second round and then the third round, yo. All right. And keep running his mouth, yo. Keep playing. I'm gonna make him come out and say what he was trying to say. And see, whatever he say, we can just look at the debate and tell what he said. Ain't no way out of this, bro, because you got it here. It's right here for us to see. We know you was trying to act like that at 77,000 years ago that they had science. We know you was trying to do that because you said they had a scientific method. Now, if you overspoke, say you overspoke or misspoke, say it. Come on, man. What is wrong with you, man? What is wrong with this person, man? What are you doing, bro? You know what? You need to hit a super chat or something. Let me start ignoring you, bro. You getting too much playing time, yo. Yeah, you too much playing time, man. For free. Everybody want the freebies. Man, hit the Cash App, show some love, man. Man, why is this like that? Man, make sure y'all add the debate. All right. Make sure y'all in the Zoom on time and be punctual. All right. Make sure all this occurs. Make sure you be there or be square. Be how they say it, be there or be square. Be there or be square. Why I messed that up like that, man? Let me see. All right, second here. All right, I dropped that link. Oh, man. What we doing? You getting in here, we're going to move on, yo. All right? It's all good, man. I appreciate it, man. All right, man. That's how we do our reviews, man. We ain't listening to the chatties and the patties. We're not listening to all the misinformation, man. We just doing our thing like we got to do it, man. Y'all can take it or leave it, whatever, man. It's all sourced up, right? And look, man, I just thought that introduction, that first round was good. So I'm threatening you, Shay. We want to know what the hell you was talking about. What the hell was you talking about with the Merriam-Webster dictionary and the definition and cooking and all that? What was you saying again? Big guy, little nigga, what was you saying? What was you saying in the debate? You was saying what? That the Africans, right, invented science? Was you saying that? Or was you saying the Africans had their own traditional knowledge, wisdom, with data? What was you saying? We don't know because you wasn't clear. We know what the debate was about. The debate was, did the Africans have African science? Of course they had African science if you meant traditional knowledge, TEK, traditional ecological knowledge. If you meant that, of course they did. And if you meant that, you did a horrible job because you mix and match stuff like the scientific method and Yeah, man. Actually, King J did a better construction of what traditional knowledge was as opposed to scientific knowledge was. Did a great job at it. Your strong point was you would bring out the traditional knowledge, then mess it up at the end and try to call it science, my man. And you didn't make that distinction, so it was trickhamship. Yep, well, there you go. There we have it. Read the definition of science. Man, okay, I'm going to read the definition of science. Appreciate the super chat. I got to hear to that. What the F is African science? I thought science was just science. Man, I don't know, man. You got to ask King J. Not King J. Yeah, ask King J and ask Ashe what the hell African science was. Yeah, I thought science was science too. You got to ask Reggie. Reggie going to do so. I have to flam you on that too, right? Mm-hmm. So you want me to read the definition of science? Here you go. Definitely trickhamship. All right. Okay, the definition of science. Here. What's up, King J? Yeah, see, they made me do it. I didn't want to do it, but they made me do it. And they got too slick and called me a clown. Now I had to put the fine-tooth comb on. They made me do it. I say, make me do it, but I won. When y'all keep saying it now, they made me do it, King J. They made me do it, King J. Yeah. It's not like I couldn't have been did it. I was trying to save it. Get my point, but he made me do it.
You're right.
You ain't even know you did that good a job, did you, bro? You ain't know how you was. You ain't know how you did that, did you?
Yeah, I felt I did, and then and when you came on the panel and did the, everybody came on and gave their critiques, I understood how well I actually did at that moment, and I appreciate that because you are the scientific literate person in our community. So I mean, if I wouldn't have done well, you would have critiqued me just like you critiqued this. And I would like to say that even though the slander, they put on your name or whatever, this debate review was strictly information. We just went over the information. So don't get mad at critiquing the information. We want to put out, correct information to our community. And that's really what it all boils down to.
Mm-hmm. So Wab Funk, right? He wants me to read the definition of science. Wikipedia says science is a systematic discipline that builds and organizes knowledge in the form of what? Testable explanations about nature and society. It says it is driven by the scientific method, an empirical cycle that typically involves making observations, producing hypotheses, testing them with evidence, and drawing conclusions. Science encompasses this process and the body of knowledge it produces, which the scientific community continuously challenges, validates, and organizes. If we come to Webster Dictionary, right, it says knowledge or a system of knowledge covering general truths or the operation of general laws, right, especially as obtained and tested through the scientific method. See, modern science, laws of science. The program encourages students to pursue careers in science Watch this. Such as, so you finish reading it, such as knowledge or such a system of knowledge concerned with the physical world and its phenomenon. A particular area of scientific study, biology, physics, chemistry, and sciences. That's what it is, bro. And by the time you get to the second definition, it starts to get more broader. And by the time you come to the end, it's broader. That is what that is. There you go. I read that. Now, in the chat, you say, what the F is African science? I thought science was just science. No, science ain't just science. But go ahead, King J. You want to add something to that, bro?
No, I mean you did a good job. The brother Wab Funk, I feel like in the comments was just trolling. I really wouldn't pay that brother no attention or give any credence to his comments at all. To be quite frankly, I've learned to pay attention to actually people who are familiar with the actual or who are scientific literate. Those are the people who I value. Those other people who I think they just really trolling, or not trying to really understand, to understand. So I just don't even deal with that anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Was you chewing some damn gum during that debate, King J?
Yeah, I was, and I was nervous. It was my first debate. You know what I'm saying? I was, so you definitely could tell. But
we're gonna you had a route.
Mm-hmm.
Take 2 points off of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm nervous and all that.
Yeah, I was nervous a little bit.
Something here. You know what's funny? You actually wasn't nervous. You was actually thinking you was nervous. When you go back and listen to it, you didn't sound nervous, did you?
Okay.
Think about it. You didn't sound nervous.
Not for real, but just first time,
Oh, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me show you how it go. I'm going to show you how you control that. Yo, it's like when you stand in front of a crowd of 3,000 people, which I have, 10 people, which I have, 3 people, which I have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Playing a football game. The shit, when you get to the championship, it would change.
Yeah.
Playoff, you're heightened, right?
Mm-hmm.
You think you're going to mess up. It's not really that. You got to control that. You got to control your body giving you false signals.
Yeah.
Your body had you thinking you was nervous. You might have felt that way. You may have been nervous, but your actions wasn't nervous, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. And as it went along, I loosened up a little bit more as well. And then, so yeah.
But you can't tell though. You get it?
Yep. I get it.
Thinking you can tell, but the people can't really tell, yo. That's what I'm trying to tell you. What you think, people not seeing you nervous.
Okay, for sure.
You see yourself as being nervous. Now, if you get up there and feed into it, then you start poop, pop, poop, poop, poop.
Right.
We're going to figure out how this debate going to go tomorrow.
Exactly. Yep, for sure. But yeah, I definitely.
Shade that was fumbling and bumbling.
Yeah, and then just playing back that first round, like, what is he talking? Hunter gatherers or scientists? And then like, how can you be smart and agree with that? Like, I don't get it. But I do appreciate this review. I think, to be quite frankly, I don't know why we haven't reviewed it, because I think because he felt that he lost, because this is one of the best debates on the channel right now.
I thought it was, bro.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
One of the best freedoms. I agree.
Yeah, for real.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You was killing him. You defined your terms as key in any debate, and you stuck to the definitions, yo. You ain't jump out there. Our shade was all over the place. What the hell this man was talking about? Like you put the word in the Google search and use that as slides. Science in the star.
Yeah,
really meant that, did you, bro? Yep. Y'all say read all of it, man. Get out of here, man. You tripping at reading all that. I'm gonna take you right back to where we was. Scientific method. The history of science spans the majority of the look, yo. Let me say where they get mixed up at, King J. Look. Look. That's when comprehension is important. Look. You read all this, right? You get here and talking about the breakdown of science, right?
Yep.
Talking about the scientific method, deductive reasoning, applied science, all that. Formal science, logic, math, all that, theoretical, computer science, all that. Then you start reading this, you forget. History of science spans the majority of the historical record. Meaning when they start writing stuff, no. But that don't mean that science started with writing.
Right. Man.
See? That don't mean, watch this, with the earliest identifiable processes to modern science dating with the earliest. So now we can start identifying stuff that kind of looking like modern science dating to the Bronze Age in Egypt, Mesopotamia. Read down to it say their contributions to mathematics, astronomy, and medicine, say entered and shaped the Greek natural philosophy, right? See how it's all working together? Of classical antiquity and later medieval scholarship, whereby formal attempts were made to provide explanations of events in the physical world based on natural causes. See, they're trying to get to natural causes.
Yep.
Right? It say while further advances, including the introduction of the Hindu Arabic numeral system, it say were made during the golden age of India and the golden age in Islamic golden age. You ain't never heard the golden age of India. I know.
Talking about that base zero.
Yeah. See how it's different places, different worlds. See?
Yep.
Even in Africa, Mesopotamia ain't in Africa. Look.
Yep.
The covering accumulation of Greek works and Islamic inquiries into Western, let's say, inquiries into Western Europe during the Renaissance. See, it went into Western Europe, revived natural philosophy. Later transformed by the scientific revolution. So see, it was transformed by the science. See that? So it ain't Western science. It ain't Europeans, yo. Y'all bugged out. They took all this stuff in front of them, yo. Yeah, but they don't understand that, bro. It's hard. That's why I keep doing it, though, King J.
The collective.
Yeah, collective, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think some people just not gonna get it or they just don't want to. So
yeah, he said, King J, you're a pseudo killer. Why deny it?
I kill pseudos. Shit, I guess I am. Shit. I guess I am. Shit.
King J trying to he want to get there, but he veer off the course too quick. Hey, King J, you know what you gotta do though?
What's that?
One day you had to get in the survey where we fight ideas.
Okay. And just see.
Yeah, that's how
I'm on your Discord. I'm on Discord.
Yeah, you need to jump in there sometime. Throw something out there and let us fight over, yo. That's how we do it.
For sure. All right, for sure.
Sources and all that. The same way, man, you do it. You'll say something like, what? That's how we do it. That's how you know.
Sharpen each other up.
Get more right. Like ain't nowhere in the world you couldn't have never thought you lost nothing. That was nonsense.
I never thought that for sure.
Yeah, but all right, man. We at the 3-hour mark, man. I wanted to get that in, man. I think sa.neter might be live. I'm not sure, man. Ain't nobody get on that panel, though, huh? Scared to death, ain't they?
Yeah, you already know. I definitely appreciate the review, for sure.
Oh, yeah, that's the introduction and the first round. If you keep running his mouth, we're gonna force him to say, yo, what was you talking about?
Exactly.
What you say about that Webster dictionary? That's how you get him. Whenever I see our share is on site.
Yeah.
You know what we mean online when we see on site.
Yeah.
Gunfight. We saying I'm shooting you up. Hey, bro, what does it mean? Webster dictionary and science and cooking. What did you mean in that debate? Was you saying that African science was science, like modern science, or was you saying African science was technical, no traditional ecological knowledge? What were you saying? Yeah. And then once he answers those two questions, right, and if he's too slick with it, we'll go to round two.
Round two. Round two.
Yeah, okay, corral around here, yo. We intellectual gunfighters, yo. We beating them up with knowledge and the book knowledge, man.
That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all.
You know what the real issue is, though, yo?
What up?
They knew those niggas couldn't read when they couldn't understand what happened, as did alongside impurely. Misrepresent Webster.
Yeah, that's the problem, bro.
Misreading paragraphs. And sentence structures. Them niggas can't read, they bluffing. Talking super wild, they nothing. You playing, I'm guffing. Acting aggressive, bluffing. Why you playing? I was hustling. I've been retired, cattle rustler. Mills off the muscle. Them niggas can't read, they bluffing. Talking super wild, ain't nothing. You playing, I'm guffing. Acting aggressive, bluffing. Why you playing? I was hustling. I've been retired, cattle rustler. Mills off the muscle. Them niggas can't read, they bluffing. Reading comprehension causes tension. I'm top notch, you benching. Them niggas can't read, kill conversation. I'm sitting back embracing. Constant wins, y'all bitches glazing. Ignorance profound, at the forefront, conversation. Them niggas can't read, they bluffing. Talking super wild, ain't nothing. You playing, I'm guffing. Acting aggressive, building nothing. You vote Trump hating. Top debater, knowledge generator, Mount Olympus, we built this. Them niggas can't read, gifted. Now I'm pissed you did this. Shooting you miss, can't hit this. Your 5th grade reading, did this. Book reading, kill this. Now read this. What's up with the fakest? Them niggas can't read, they bluffing. Talking super wild, ain't nothing. You playing, I'm guffing. Acting aggressive, bluffing. Them niggas can't read, but what's the reason they chose greed? Over reason, over intelligence. I've been relevant, believe me. Wines can't read, feel penitentiary, but I stay free, stay slick on that John Wick shit. And I'm loud on the mic with that stem grit. Pseudo killing to the day I die. Them know why, most get high, but I stay fly. Never less than the guy, rather stay sober than high. Keep the rocket from pockets, check the document, been rocking it. Build all requirements, wild environment, still pull blicks, shooting that science shit. Them niggas can't read, blind breeze. They smoke spray weed. They smoke in trees. Them knees, it be what it be. Them niggas can't read, it be what it be. They die to go to hell now, free. It be what it be, never matter to me. Always can read, yet niggas can't read. Yet they breathe, cause they can't read. Fill the prisons, just a cut. Running around, doing stick ups. I'm too quick to blick, stem, hit. Staying on that science shit. Them niggas can't read. Live in America, land of the free. I keep it on me, I pull blicks. Protection shit. Stay on that science hit. Them niggas get what they get. Them niggas can't read, it be what it be. Stay on that science shit. Them niggas get what they get. Them niggas can't read, it be what it be. Stay on that science shit. Them niggas get what they get. Stay on that science shit.
Yeah, you've been warned, Ashe. Been warned. It's on site. Next time you pop up on a broadcast, explain to us what you mean about science is cooking. Make it relate to what you're talking about when it comes to science. Was you just saying science in itself is cooking, or was you saying there's principles, there's laws of physics and chemistry in it that the cook himself wouldn't have known about? What was you trying to say about what? Explain to us how you use a dictionary, how there's a primary definition, which is 1. And as you go down the line all the way to 5, it's used in a broader sense. How was they trying to use cooking? Was it in a broader sense, or was it as the primary dictionary? Was you trying to say because hunter-gatherer people were cooking, they was practicing science? What was you saying? In that debate against King J, what was your point? Was you trying to say that African science was actually science? Or was you trying to say that African science was traditional ecological wisdom? What was you saying? Next time I run into you on YouTube, I don't want to talk about nothing else but that, bro. Because you called me out my name. Doesn't make me mad. It make me want to teach. Look, man, I'm your host, Bobby Banger, man. Make sure y'all get the damn debate, man. It's going down. The link is in the daggone chat. I'll be back, man, and do this marathon my style. You know what it is, man. Dr. Reggie, Professor Jabari, the topic of the Netches Literal. 2279 3rd Ave, Harlem. Be there, man, or be square, man. Tickets is $50, man. Y'all better get these tickets, man. They're going out fast, man. Let's go. I'm your host, Bobby Banger, and with that, we are out.